I mean, AFCON is AFCONing at this point, and we are at halftime of the. Has there other? I mean, let's be real. Other than the, there's been one game that's been a bit of a dud, I'd say. Other than that, every game has lived up to the expectations. We're going to here to talk about it. We'll have some people swinging by here and there, but welcome to the Africans. We do primarily Canadian African content because we wouldn't be the Africans if we didn't do both. So if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. If you are feeling any of these teams, if you're supporting them, let me know in the comments below. If you want to make a comment about what you've noticed from AFCON, put it in the chat and we continue to go because guess what? Yes, I know the Premier League is playing. Yes, I know the La Liga is playing. Yes, I know Serie A is playing. But we are here. We are here for AFCON. And first game of Sunday slate has been an interesting one with Mozambique going up 2-0 before Aubameyang getting a goal in additional time, cutting the deficit from 2 goals to one. And it feels like we're going to have a great second half as we go. But we already do know some things in terms of which teams are going through. We can congratulate both Egypt and Nigeria, who are on their way to the round of 16 as they sit there. And we're excited to see what it is. But today is really more of a just, we're going to be here, we're going to be vibing, we'll talk about what we've seen. Again, we'll have people coming through, seeing some of their observations as we get through there. So it's going to be a vibey time. So if you want to just put a comment on something you've seen, who has surprised you so far, who has disappointed you so far, put it on into the chat and we'll talk about AFCON as a whole. Because right now, this is what we're here to do. We're here to talk about this tournament as a whole. What have we liked? Who has impressed? Who has disappointed? Who do we think is going to win? And the likes going through that we see you here. Hello, Shanglin. Good to see you on a lovely Sunday morning as well. Hope you're doing well. Hope you are doing well as well. But we're here to talk about it. We'll be watching the games as we're going through. Again, you do have here the Mozambique and Gabon who have just gone to halftime. So we're watching, we're going to be paying attention to that game as we're here. We won't have the live stream, but we'll keep you track of what's going on, but also have an overall discussion of what we are seeing in terms of what teams are doing well, like we said before, and what our overall vibe of this tournament is. Because at this point, my first question is, what is a penalty? Asking for a friend. I'm the friend. What is an actual penalty? I feel like that's been the number one question that we've had for this tournament as we've gone through. But as we continue to move, let's talk about what we have here as we have. So talking about this first half we just had, we have Gabon. Really, we're using SofaScore here in case you are wondering. This game pretty much has been Mozambique being on the front foot, other than the first few minutes of the game. For the most part, it's been Mozambique controlling everything from possession, statistics as we go through some of the stats here. We do have some cards to talk about. We have 2 yellows coming up here for Gabon, 1 yellow for Mozambique. As we look at the time, we look at the goal scoring time. We have Katamo in the 42nd minute on a penalty, and then Bangal in the 37th minute in open play. That's a beautiful just But Mozambique have been the better side overall. They should be up further than 2-0. Right, you have the crossbar that they hit in the early portion of the game. Gabon also having an opportunity proving and forcing a save out from some of the goalkeepers as they move through. But honestly, this has been a Mozambique dominated game. No problem, no problem. We will be here. We will be here for a bit. So take your time, take your time. We'll be back. But this game has very much been Mozambique's game, which if you judge a competition based off of names, you would maybe say, okay, but you have Dennis Bouanga, you have Aubameyang. This should be Gabon's. But again, the teams that are able to perform well, you definitely see them able to. Those units, right? The teams that can move as a unit, those teams, they start to look better as the game goes on. So we're at halftime here, but overall, we do know other things about this tournament as Gabon and Mozambique are fighting for positioning and a chance to get to the next round of 16. Here's what we do know as it stands currently. I'm gonna throw this up for you to take a look and enjoy here because we're gonna have the other games as they go through. If the results stand as they do, we're going to have Mozambique sitting in second place, which means they are in a prime position to move on in the third place spot, just due to points we haven't seen. Again, Group E play yet with Algeria, Burkina Faso, Equatorial Guinea, and Sudan. But as it stands right now, if Mozambique can hold on to this victory, not this result overall, they stand a very solid chance to get out in a third place spot, if not even a second place spot, depending on what happens in their next matchups as they go through. But only Group B left to play, but we did see some good results yesterday. We have Benin getting a big win, and then DR Congo and Senegal drawing yesterday, which leaves them at 4-4 and 3 respectively for Senegal, DR Congo, and Benin. You have Nigeria getting a win over Tunisia. They've gotten wins. They haven't looked as convincing, but this is the Nigeria of AFCON. Tanzania and Uganda getting a draw. Uganda missing a penalty late, which could have given them a actual 3 points, which will let them in a good spot to go through. Egypt as well as Nigeria have moved on. South Africa, that game, again, what is a penalty? We'll be talking about that as we go. Angola and Zimbabwe drawing there. We saw Morocco and Mali draw, and then Zambia and Comoros. I think that was the only dud of a game, the only game that did not end as we wanted it to, as we sat there and looked through. But that is the results that are there. And it's pretty exciting to see what we've kind of learned. But I think that is my ultimate question as we get to things as we're flowing. But still a lovely game overall. I think it'll be fun to keep an eye on as we go. And I'm liking what I've seen from AFCON so far. But let's just get this here. Sending out the old bat signal to everyone. Here we go. As we sit through this. Perfect, perfect. But yes, this is where all the groups stand. I know some people already are projecting matchups as we go, but as we sit in this game today, these are the matchups you have coming up. You do have today's going to be the last day we're going to have games throughout the day. Next game is Equatorial Guinea versus Sudan. Then I think a nice game. The last two games of the day will be very interesting. 12:30 Algeria versus Burkina Faso, and then you have Cote d'Ivoire versus Cameroon later today. Again, these are all Canadian times, but those will be later in the afternoon. But those will be the very good games we'll be keeping an eye on for sure, most definitely. And so you have those games coming up. Let's go back to some of the action that we've talked about here. Uh, we get into what we've seen in terms of this game. and talk about it here. Again, on SofaScore, just taking a look at some of the stats. Again, you don't just look at the ratings and assume this is how good a player is, but you can look at some of these statistics to have an idea of how the game has flowed. They're giving good ratings again for goal players. Dominguez, probably for me, has been the best player for Mozambique. Even though Aubameyang has looked a little bit better getting the goal, I do think Poco, though with his yellow, I think he's performed well, and the defense have done as best as they could. But some of the statistics tell you a story of what the game is happening, right? You have 49, you about 50-50 possession. You get to the big chances, again, how they define it is interesting. I always like to put it this way: shots on target will tell you the story in terms of what is actually happening. And when you take a look at some of this, 3 goalie saves for Mozambique, you have fouls about that, passes about even, tackles about even, 2-1 in terms of that. I'm a shots on target person, and Mozambique, 9 shots overall, 4 shots on target for Gabon, but only 2 on target for Mozambique. We do have one more work shot, 6 off target. And that's something that I think will be interesting when we get into the second half. Can you be that wasteful? It seems like a rude thing to say, but truly, you have to convert. When you get to tournament football, get the goals when you have the opportunities to, because in a blink, in a counter, now you're on the other side and you're trying to either stem the flow and everything from there. So I think ultimately it just becomes interesting in terms of chances great. If you're a Mozambique, those chances that aren't on target, that to me, I mean, there's always the joke with the family when we watch AFCON. When's the AFCON shot coming? The shot that it's one on one, 1v1 with the keeper, and he blasts it, and as he will be would say, it would reach Morocco before we do, right? Those shots that are launched so well that they'll reach the rest stop before the team does. You got to put those on frame. Force a goalkeeper to make a save, because the goalkeepers have shown well, but they haven't been perfect in this sense. And that's any goalkeeping sense. Defending hasn't been perfect and all those aspects, but that's what you're looking for. But when you look at more shots, the thing I always like to look at when I'm looking at stats specifically, shots inside the box, right? 5 versus 2 for Mozambique, 4 versus 3 outside the box for Mozambique as well. That tells me the story of, okay, within the build up, Mozambique are doing a better job of getting the ball. And now, if you've watched the game, you would have seen that. There's no doubt about that. But I think those are some, for me, when I'm looking at the game blindly, though I have watched the first half, those are the stats that give me a better read on how good teams have been. Then you get into things like touches in the box, which is, okay, how long are you spending in that box as you go? How long are you not? I think that's where you start to look at things that are interesting for the teams as they move. But first half is looking very good. I'm excited to see kind of what happens in the second half, because I think there's more firepower between Dennis Bouanga and then in Gabon, and then someone like Mozambique, Dominguez. I think there's more goals in this game, but the question will be, are they able to look alive and get it done? As we said before, look at the live standings. Mozambique right now currently sitting in third on 0 with that 1 goal advantage. If you're Mozambique, you're trying to push to have a little bit more goal difference, because Cote d'Ivoire and Cameroon, you're hoping one team wins that and then you can push through, or you're hoping that they stay at 4, then you can create more of a traffic jam in terms of games moving through. So I think it'll be a good second half as we get through to it. Guys, if you're here, just leave a like, comment. What have you liked? What are the things that have stood out for you in this tournament as we go? And we'll try to do our best to give you play by play as people come in and people come out, and we'll just have a fun time conversing. Have a fun time conversing. Looks like the players are starting to come back out for the second half as we're here. So we'll give you a bit of a play by play. We'll actually throw up a flash score for you to keep in mind so you can track this game as it's going. So we get this players getting back onto the pitch, and this will be a nice little indication in terms of what we're seeing. But again, 2-1 is the score that we have for this game. Mozambique have looked the better. Ronaldo has looked good. Mozambique have looked the better of the teams in this game. And maybe this is them building off of their last AFCON. Last AFCON weren't bad, but ended with a draw versus Ghana. They didn't look terrible in World Cup qualifiers. They looked solid. Weren't able to get in a top two positions, but still looked very good regardless. And so maybe this is an opportunity for them to look a little bit better as they come through for the side. But let's go in. We have a couple substitutions coming in for. So we'll see. We'll get those switches for you as we get ready to get into the second half as we look at that there. We will talk about this. But as we said, people will be coming by as we get ready for the second half to pop in. The Mo of football, the football of Mo. He's the real famous one. We're just here. We're just here along for the ride. He's the real famous one. But Musa, Mozambique, yeah. Buanga hasn't given you your goal yet, but how are you feeling so far?
Um, Quite surprised. I think Mozambique is showing us that um, some of the players I've not seen from them. I don't know if it was the 2-0 that made them very comfortable, but after the PK, they were pretty much in all cylinder, and they could have made it 3-0 if the ball didn't hit the crossbar.
Hmm.
And but then after that, the good thing about seeing them playing so well was also what the dagger was for the first goal from Gabon, is that they may have just felt maybe a little too comfortable afterward. And that's how Gabon was
Hmm.
able to get that second one, because I think they just got caught ball watching. And we all know 2-0 in soccer.
Yeah.
It's probably the worst score before the 75th minute. But I'm impressed. I
Yeah.
mean,
It's the
this is
greatest
what
lead ever,
AFCON
don't you
is.
know? 2-0.
Yeah, I hate it. And I'm sure everybody that's been
Look,
on either
yeah.
side of a 2-0 know what I'm talking about. But yeah, and I think in Mozambique, the other thing they've done well is they were able to lock Aubameyang and Bouanga, which them alone, I would have expected them to have a lot of goals by now.
Yeah.
So how about yourself? How you keeping up with all this
Well,
AFCON drama?
dude, the one beautiful thing about having it this time of the year is that as we have Mozambique building up to the right, we're getting them driving fullback looking, passing it back and building back. I think you forget how busy this time of the year is because normally, like I did a Canadian year in review video yesterday, and I was telling Lane, like, normally, like, I'm just free this time of year. Like, I'm watching stuff. I'm getting ready for AFCON. I'm not
Right.
in it. And this year I was just like, you know what? I'll have time. I'll do it every day. It's just like game after game. And then it's like the second year done, it's like, oh, you gotta visit a relative. You gotta bake. You gotta do something. So I've enjoyed it from a content creation standpoint. I have been
Right.
terrible, but from a content to take in, I've loved it. I mean, I do have a question for you that we'll get into fun. What is a penalty at this point? Can anyone tell us what a penalty is?
A handball, a penalty, I don't know.
No, there's so much on it. Like, okay, we have a foul against Mozambique on Amade, so we have a free kick for them coming through. But I think outside of the goals, outside of the results, I think that's the big talking point. What is a penalty? Because I mean, we saw it on Friday where we have the Egypt penalty that's not called against South Africa. And then you have
The other one that's gone.
a similar one that's played against for Morocco versus Mali. Then you have the one against Tunisia and Nigeria, as we have a breakthrough, but couldn't get a good pass in, and Mozambique takes care of that, building up. We're in about the I'm on the 49th minute of watching here, so this is where we're at. But Mozambique trying to build out passing, but you see just Gabon putting pressure on them.
Yeah.
Pass back to the keeper. Keeper's looking to pass. Nice build up, nice build up. But yeah, for you, like, what's the story for AFCON been for you so far?
Maybe for the past two
Oh,
days,
Gabon on the
I think
attack,
we've
cross
had.
put in.
Uh,
Yep, good.
I think for the
Keep going.
past few
Mhm.
days, the biggest conversation has been what is a handball, what is a penalty, what
Oh,
is
that's a
this,
foul.
what is that, um, and that's just the past couple of days. I think the tournament so far is
Mm.
still warming up to what it could be, but I think every day we're starting to see a little bit more drama
Yeah.
than we expect. And also the big
No,
boys
I
are
agree
not
with you there. I think the first,
dominating.
yeah, go on.
Yeah, and so and then the big boys are not
Well, that's
dominating
AFCON.
as we expect, or that we
Mhm.
would have expected.
That's AFCON, though.
I think one of them is like struggling
I,
even more
I
than
agree with
before.
you. Yeah.
So you were gonna say something?
Hmm. I think that's fair, but I mean, yeah, that's a product of AFCON. I think we have a little bit of a lag. So I think there's a pause and then you say something else and it goes from there. But what I was saying was, I think that's a pro. Mozambique
Oh,
just scores a third.
yes.
Khalil, yo, Gabon, what are you doing? I feel like Mozambique is about to be the Cinderella story here, but they've been the better
Uh,
team, no doubt.
yes.
But
But
speaking
then
of
it's
names, don't
starting to
matter.
expose
It's
Gabon.
just form and matchups.
I think they're starting
Yes,
to expose Gabon of
Gabon
like,
feels like no for sure.
yeah, the Gabon's defense is
Yeah,
not
let's see this
it.
ball. The ball put on the right, and yeah, unmarked on the right. If Dennis Buanga is the person that is the in charge of calling, you have failed defensively.
Who's number
Like
nineteen?
if your second striker slash winger
Oh yeah.
has to be the one who's tracking back to defend, that says everything. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to ask who was number 19, but it's like, oh wait, it's well got what he's not supposed to be there.
Yeah. If if there's a situation where your striker or your one of your has a problem. All right.
Dang.
All right. But yep. Let's see if Gabon can react to this now. Buanga on the ball, looking to build. All right. Musa, I'm gonna pop out for a second because I'm just gonna clear a few things and I'll be right back. All right.
All right, so just tell Gabon to start playing defense. All right, so let's see what Gabon can find themselves doing. Oh, that was a close one. It's quite scary when you need two of your striker to actually pass the ball and the other one to score. Oh, Aubameyang should have scored that one. Oh, he's definitely gonna regret this one.
That should have been 3-2.
Mm. Sometimes that's why they tell you not to pick the closest one. Go to the far post. Make the goalkeeper work for it.
Yep. And that's almost like them good, right? There's no doubt they've been the better side, but Gabon, with their chances, they've had they've forced more saves. They have nothing to show. Become like a landslide. But if you watch the game, you realize they just couldn't finish their chances at all.
Yeah. No one goal of soccer is you have to score goals. Man, it looks like pretty much it's the offense that's doing everything for Gabon and at least keeping them in the game. The defense is extremely exposed. It looks like there's some pretty nice sequence at this moment. Oh, is that that? Are they calling for a handball or they just give up on that already? Looks like we either I've lost them or we may have lost Africans for a bit. Or he's probably going to go and strap on and go talk to Gabon and tell them that they need to start doing something productive, or else they might be going home early. At least we can see Gabon is still trying to knock at the door. All right, so looks like we're still this 60th minute and still 3-1 Mozambique. Quite surprising on their performance, but hey, it's AFCON, so if you wake up on the right day, you can make something fun happen. I don't know. Did we completely lost Equasia or what is happening? Or maybe he's getting himself ready to be strapped up to for the game. Oh,
You'll
there
never know.
he's back.
You'll never know. Ah,
I was
see,
starting to
I'm trying to
wonder.
make people believe that you actually run every channel here.
Oh
Make you seem like, no, I run everything here.
no,
But no,
no.
no, like again, Mozambique being up 3-1 in this game is story in this game is just Gabon's defense and their inability to actually finish. Because like that Aubameyang chance that they just missed, the Aubameyang, like that should have been on frame. And you have nothing, not even a save, just a goal kick from it.
Yep.
How are you seeing
And
how game is going? You think Mozambique gets it done?
yes, they should,
Mm,
but I don't know. Looks like there's one more sub on either Mozambique or that's or they're both sides are
yeah.
starting. At this point, at this
Hmm.
game, I would say yes, but at the same time, they still have Aubameyang and Bulonga. If
Mm.
Mozambique just let it go
And
for a
that's fair.
little bit, they might get punished.
Agreed. Looks like we have a sub coming on for them.
Well, let's just continue what you're doing.
Gildo's coming on. And then we got that going here. All right, so let's get you here. Reestablish everything that we're seeing here. But yes. The 42-year-old? Mozambique. 42? Hey.
Hey, he might be
Papa
42.
Neo.
He might be 30
Hey.
in Europe, so you're good.
Why would you? Why would you? Listen, Senegal, okay? Don't let me go passport checking with everyone, okay?
And we don't do, you can check ours. There's no one that has questionable ages.
Confident. Perfect. All right, so Gildo and then Kambala coming, Dominguez coming off, and then okay, so this is going to be interesting in terms of how this goes up, but okay. But let's just keep this on SofaScore here. But right now, yeah, right now, Mozambique. This isn't a. Don't confuse your eyes. Mozambique is up 3-1, and they have deserved every moment of it. Um, is this probably our first real upset of the tournament? Would you call it the first upset of the tournament?
I would say more of a surprise more than an upset. To be fair,
Fair. That's fair.
because I think Mozambique and Gabon were more evenly than other teams we may have thought. Because we like Gabon is like if when you mention their name, there's what, two players that you're kind of familiar with.
That you know for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and even that, Aubameyang is probably the biggest name outside of
Yeah.
if you don't in if you're not in the MLS and US soccer sphere or part
Mhm.
of France that know that know Buanga. The rest of the world most likely do not know who he is.
Yeah. So off of from a name recognition on paper, this looks like an upset. But I think if you look at how both this if you look at how both sides were playing, I think you look say nah. But also if you look at how they've been playing overall, you would say nah as well, right?
Yeah,
Let me
because
just
it's not like Mozambique's been bad. They just
Mhm.
it's who they play against that kind of
True.
that were a step ahead of Mozambique. This was probably a game that they came into. It's like we're not playing, a big name,
Yeah.
and let's show what we're capable of. And this group is still for the taking.
Mhm.
If
I
they're
think
fighting for third place,
mm,
that's 3 goals right there.
it is, and having a one goal plus goal does help you there a
Yes.
lot, and I think that's where you got to. And this is where if you're Mozambique, I think you don't want to sit back and defend for the whole thing, but if you trust your ability on the counter, take a chance here and there and see what you can create. Because right now, Mozambique is really looking in great position to get out of the group. I mean, if you look at FIFA rankings right now, Mozambique are ranked 102 and Gabon are ranked 78. So on paper, I mean, they're in the same ballpark, right?
Yeah, not too bad.
Right. Teams around them, Equatorial Guinea, and just for the record, Equatorial Guinea 97, Benin 92, Zambia 91, Angola 89, Uganda 85, Guinea 81, Gabon 78, and then Ghana 72. Okay,
Ghana
now we have a
72. Whew.
okay, now we have a dangerous free kick at the edge of the box for Gabon. So this could be, and they want to go quick, but they won't go quick. So now it looks like we're gonna have potentially a shot on frame. Yeah, that's a foul on looking at it. But yeah, it's
You better send that far post.
mm-hmm. Let's run this commentary on here.
Yep, that was his far post because that's where Aubameyang was sitting.
Yep. But
I
this
can
this is
believe
gonna
they
be
left him by
fun.
himself too.
Yep. Let's update this here.
So
Mozambique
he's at,
3,
he's at a corner,
Gabon.
right? No.
It's not a short corner, but it's basically you gotta I think you go straight on. In this situation, you go straight on goal, or do you go and try to attack it and try to get across them?
Usually you probably I say far post because that's pretty much where Aubameyang was. But typically you
Hmm.
want to like drop it right on the penalty dot spot because that's where
Yeah.
all the chaos is.
Hmm.
But also he was far post by himself, so I think it was just that the ball
Yeah.
was too far out.
Hmm. I would agree on that. So wasted, not a wasted, but an empty opportunity there. Mozambique looking to build. Nice turn, but no one to really cross it to. Now has a little bit of space, cuts into the middle. Still on control, still played out finally wide. Now put out wide, looking for a cross potentially. Nope, they give it, and it's a goal kick off the defender. So as it stands now, let's actually take a look at where this leaves everyone because it does make it a little bit more interesting. With the results from yesterday, we have Egypt that have already moved on, and then we also have Nigeria who have moved on to the round of 16. Those are the two things. If the result stands, right, we'll swap this here. Mozambique goes into third place in their group. Gabon aren't out of it yet, depending on what happens with the other sides. If you're Gabon, you need either Cote d'Ivoire or Cameroon to win that matchup. So you have a chance to get out with 3 points. But here we go. Gabon here, overlapping run, nothing, pushing forward, ball put to the middle, put out wide, but poor, weak on the ball, built off. And Mozambique are able to clear the ball away and clear the danger. Now here we have Mozambique sending it out. Guinea putting it wide, but all the way back to the keeper. Keeper looks like he's going to play that in as it stands. But as this game's going 3-1 for Mozambique, you look at the other groups. We're going to get Group E later today. We have right next Equatorial Guinea versus Sudan. And it's a similar situation as Gabon and Mozambique. A win puts whoever wins that game in a driver's seat for a chance to get out of the group. And hoping either Algeria or Burkina Faso win the game. You need a winner in that game outright.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at the other games. You had Senegal and DR Congo with a great draw. I think that was a fun game yesterday. You would agree, but the Senegal in you was just shining two through. Nigeria, Tunisia, we saw that game a bit. Egypt over Morocco, Mali. Who right now do you think has been playing the best football overall for you?
That's a good question. You know what? I'll give it to Nigeria.
Really?
Yes.
Well, tell me why. As the teacher here, tell me why.
Because I think they've maybe be a little bit more of the dynamic team that kind of showed a little bit of what they're capable of. Even though yesterday was a little sketchy, I guess Tunisia, but I think so far as the team that we would have expected to do half decent.
Mm-hmm.
I think Nigeria kind of almost earned that qualification to the next round as much.
Mm. I think that's fair. I think ultimately for me, I'd say, and maybe I have such a high standard for Nigeria because the Nigeria I see is like the Nigeria I expect, right? They'll look good for like 40 to 50 minutes and then they'll be asleep. And the next thing you know, the game is tied or it's 2-1 and you're sweating it out in the end. And so that to me was like your best case scenario Nigeria game, right? You go
Yeah.
up 2 goals, maybe you go up 3 goals, and then you survive, right? Because the typical version of that Nigeria game I see is okay, they get 1 goal, and then it's last AFCON, right? Every game is 1-0. Every
Yep.
game you're like, why aren't they punishing them? And every game you're like, well, I guess we're here, and this is where we sit. Sir, I still don't worry. We see you, sir. We see you. We see you. I wasn't trying to hold you down. I wasn't trying to hold you down. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
You have enough colors. If it was just 2 colors, I'd be like, I don't see him. I don't see him at all. No, he's not there. He is not there.
Can't be lacking. Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good
morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I mean, I woke up and I saw the score. I was like, oh, do we have a fraud watch going on today?
Just straight up fraud watch.
Man, he went fraud watch.
He went fraud. I don't think Gabon is fraud. I think Gabon is just top heavy. And
Yeah.
so,
But I'm just saying how it is. I mean, Denny Bawanga, man, he was probably like the second best player in the MLS.
yeah.
You know? I mean,
It's perfect example right there. perfect example right there.
Mm.
I
Explain.
don't know how far I'm early because I'm.
Well, explain what you just saw, so for the people who are following along, so that they get kind of what's the point you're trying to bring here.
So pretty much Aubameyang here, if you look at the run that he had 1v1, like far post, why is he shooting the ball lower far post? Where he knows that the goalkeeper has already launched himself diving.
Yeah.
Right? And then after that, when you see the goal, I guess Sulan kind of pushed the ball out, and I forgot who was on the other side.
Yeah.
Oh, see, look at that. I mean, oh, okay, things may have just changed for you guys, but and then it was another clear opportunity right after the Aubameyang, and they're still not able to score.
Yeah.
But then they made my word because that's, I think I'm a little earlier for you guys, so there's a quick something has just changed.
As a former goalkeeper who had to retire because nobody wants a 5'6" goalkeeper, like you also have to think like the goalie is taking that away. The goalie saying, "I want to give that to you," because I think I can take that away, right?
Okay, Aubameyang just got a goal. Okay, I see it.
So is that him that took the second one?
Yeah, Aubameyang the second goal.
Yep. Aubameyang.
No, that's not Aubameyang.
No,
that's number.
It's Musanda. Musanda with the goal there. Let's throw that up there.
He just took the ball and off the net, out of the net, and ran with it.
All right, we are live now. Unless this is Comoros versus Zambia, this game will be live. That was 2 hours I couldn't get back. Like I sat there, the entire family were just like AFCON, and then we watched that for 2 hours and we're like, why we could have sowed seeds.
It was family time. Come on.
No, we were all cursing the game. It
was family time.
Yeah, as a family. But 3-2. Okay.
Okay, this is getting interesting. This is interesting right now because I mean, when I woke up, I saw
they heard your frog comments and they said they were found wanted. So, they hear, okay? They hear.
Yeah, I know, man. I was like, yo, but man, how about I said Nigeria? I know you guys probably talked about Nigeria yesterday, but that's why I said for a fact I had to bring out the sick one, the Barkley backwards hurdle. Because that header looked like the header by Victor Osimhen looked like a Jordan logo.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I will always appreciate about Nigeria on the pitch is that look, they know what their hierarchy is. They are talented everywhere, but everything goes through Osimhen. It doesn't matter. That man is getting a shot on target. He will miss 12 of them. He might score 2, but he's touching it all the time. And you appreciate that hierarchy within a team because everyone is talented there. But hey, this is the man who's going to get us the goals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it sounds like quiz. Oh.
All right. Mozambique, this can't be a draw, okay? You're either winning this game or you're losing this game, okay? You cannot just put yourself out of don't give yourself this long hope. Either go for the win or go for the loss. Don't be doing this.
Well, it's the battle for the third place, and you know what? At this point, if they continue scoring goals, they're actually doing themselves a favor because that gives them more goal differential when it gets to the table for the third place. So, I mean, at this point now, you've had your chances. Go all out.
Yeah.
Man. Put 2 more, depending on who you are.
Not a problem. As we're getting the substitution coming in, I asked Musa this question, but I'll ask you. By the way, Indomitable Lions 17 in the program. Didn't introduce you. I'm a terrible host. I'm just going to say this right now. I'm a terrible host. ADHD is real. But for you, you've watched most of this AFCON, or for what you've seen, who has been the most impressive team for you? And I'm the teacher, so Tell me why. With 3 points or less and a 100-word short essay, please. Essay optional.
I did see you guys say Nigeria. Well, Nigeria, I think they've been very impressive during the tournament. I mean, they're still undefeated. Of course, Lookman, Osimhen are doing their thing out there. I really hope that they will use this as an advantage. Like I said again, this is a team that needs this tournament. They need to win this tournament. This tournament. My second one, I would say Egypt, but yeah, there was some controversy with Egypt, especially against South Africa. That's my second. But let's go back to Nigeria. Let's go back to Nigeria. I think, like I said, they're heavy favorites. I'm hoping that whatever happens, I hope they get far in it because, like I said, they need this competition heavily.
I hope they crash and burn.
It would be.
Yeah, everybody. That's the best part about AFCON. Everyone praying for their downfall.
What?
I
Nigeria?
pray for everybody's downfall.
Never on this channel. Never on this channel. We support all the African teams equally and with love on this
Not
channel.
during the AFCON.
Dog, during AFCON, man.
Not during AFCON. I want you all
during
to burn
AFCON?
except Senegal.
I thought this was the World Cup. Oh, this was the World. Oh, I thought
Yes.
this was AFCON.
If it's the
my
World
bad,
Cup,
my
yes.
If it's in World Cup, it's one Africa.
Yes.
The
Of
AFCon,
course.
it's a
Nah,
AFCon. Be like,
everyone
no,
can win, but Nigeria. Listen, I'm saying that right now
no.
publicly.
For me, it's anybody but Egypt.
See, the
You know what?
Ghanaian in me doesn't care. Like the Ghanaian is like, let the Northerners win one, whatever.
Yeah.
Go.
Any team that is not in the World Cup does not need to win AFCON to begin with, because you do
So
not
now we got
need
qualifiers.
because you do not need the kings of Africa to be watching. It's the World Cup. The king of Africa, the king of Europe, the king of South Americas all have to be in that tournament.
No, they got to qualify.
You don't make you do not make the correct statement if you go to the World Cup and where's the African Cup of Nations champ? Oh, they're watching at home. You know how bad that is.
Look,
Speaking of, speaking of World Cup, how do you feel about that DR Congo versus Senegal match yesterday?
it was fine. I think DR Congo didn't. I know Musa, you have many thoughts, and I'll try to be the objective one here. I think for me, look, DR Congo, they were able to play well based off of the team that they had, and they are still an improving side. The problem I always have with them is that Spurs-esque quality that they have, where it's in their grasp, and then they decide no, not this time, right? Like victory is fleeting for them sometimes in big matchups. So the fact that they got a draw here, I'm happy, but they got to build on it and look better in that sense, and that's what I'm hoping that they can do. I think Senegal are a strong side. I know Sadio scores. Sadio is that veteran on the team that no, Sadio is that uncle that nobody wants to say he needs to get off the pitch, but every once in a while he does something good. You're like, oh yeah, that's why. But if you look at their team, you're thinking Sadio should be like a 45 minute slash 30 minute get in there, calm us down. He's the veteran presence that they need to be, because I think that Senegal team is too deep to continue to start him and have to rely on him like they do. I mean, Nicholas Jackson is a thing, and Jiang is a thing. So I would love to see them give the team more to the youth and to that next generation. But DR Congo, for what they've been able to do, I think a success for them, I know you didn't ask it, but I'll say it. I think success for them is making the semis again. They made the semis last tournament. I think a finals wouldn't be unreasonable, especially without Wissa. That would be a good achievement for them. But I think ultimately they just need to continue to build. They get this opportunity with AFCON to see which players can play in a high pressure situation, because there's one game separating them from the World Cup.
Yeah,
so
well, it's technically 2 games, but yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm. No, just one.
Oh yeah,
They're
one. My bad, my bad. They're the highest.
yeah
They're the highest. They're the highest ranking. Highest
team.
ranking. So yeah. So they
Yeah,
get one. So it's either gonna be like
it's
I
New
think
Caledonia or Jamaica.
yeah, yeah. Mhm.
And and I won't say publicly I'm rooting for New Caledonia, but I hope Jamaica plays well. I hope they play well.
Yeah, you should talk to my friend. You should talk to my friend Jason. He's
I
like, I ask him like, hey, maybe Jamaica might do it. It's like, nah, bro, Jamaica's gonna be terrible.
If Jamaica play against DR Congo, they're losing.
Mhm.
oh yeah, because there's this magical mythical thing called a midfield. Yeah, they don't use one. Jamaica doesn't use that. What? This economy? No.
And you know what's interesting is if let's say like if DR Congo wins, if DR Congo wins, it goes to the World Cup. They get to play in Atlanta.
Oh, come on, Africa, Atlanta. Ha! Done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so right now we get Cape. Currently, right now we get Cape Verde. We get Cape Verde,
Mm.
Morocco, Morocco and South Africa. If DR Congo makes it to the World Cup, we'll have four African teams playing with. We have four African teams playing in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Sounds like I might have to go out. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how it is.
If you can't make it to Toronto, because like I said, Toronto has the whole West Africa just sitting there.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
I am thrilled. I
yeah.
am
I'm sure
thrilled.
you are.
Listen, that's a quick drive and a train ride, and we're there. Okay, so this is. I am happy for that.
Yeah,
Wait,
I'm saying Atlanta having those that's a party right there.
where do you live up there?
I'm like Niagara Falls.
Oh shoot, that's just a
Yeah,
you can just hop on the you can just walk just walk into the border.
yeah. I'm on the Canadian side. I'm in Canada right now. I'm
Oh, you're the
living.
Canadian side.
I
Oh,
don't need to cross that border, sir.
so
I
you
just
can just drive around the lake.
yes. It's basically it.
Yeesh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice header.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to be honest, you might as well just you might as well just get yourself. You got people over there in Toronto, right?
Oh, do I, sir? I have everyone. Everybody's like, look, I got your stuff for you. I'm like, listen, let's let these ticket prices calm down first, okay? And then like I ain't looking at mortgage versus game right now, okay? Okay, that's the real competition. That's the real cup. Mortgage versus game is the real World Cup for me this summer. So I
I know,
am
right, man. Like, what's it called? I remember the Scottish. It's the coach of the Scottish team is like telling the fans, like, "Hey, don't go into bankruptcy. Don't go into debt.
mhm.
Trying to watch Scotland play, please."
Yep.
I just honestly, I wish that more. I mean, I really do wish that more like you got the fans complaining about it, but I wish the federations came out and say, "No, this is ridiculous."
I would too. The problem is when you're into like when you've watched FIFA and just like world football for a while, FIFA only does anything if you mess with their image or you mess with their money. And by their image, we mean when someone stops them. As long as the FA is doing what they want, as long as there's no interference, then they're like, "Yep, go do it." The second someone's like, "There's corruption in the federation, we must investigate." What is that government interference? 2-year ban.
Well, then that means no, then that means we shouldn't be hosting it then.
Do you, listen, I I could go for hours on this.
Yeah.
Okay, I could go for
I
hours
think
on
that
this.
the whole government interference, it depends on who's doing the interference.
Yeah, it depends on which government and what they deem as interference. Because I
Yes.
mean,
It just depends on who's doing the interference. And I think the biggest culture shock, I think, for a lot of people that's outside of North America's sports
mm,
is that fans in American sports are getting fleeced every single season game week when the games are happening. We're the
mm.
ones spending the most money to go to a sporting event.
Well, that's the thing that they North America, and when I say North America, I mean specifically Canada and the US.
Oh,
Oof, oof. I if you miss this, if you miss this, thank you.
they are making, those 3 goals right now. It's looking amazing for Mozambique because the team that have lost so far, that are in the third place table,
Hmm.
none of
Oh,
them have been able to score 3 goals in one game.
oh Lord.
Agreed.
Oh
Looks like
Lord.
they're going to check this out. It could be 4-2, but we might have a
Oh
VAR.
my god. Yo, fraud watch. Fraud watch.
Dennis,
Fraud
you are a
watch.
fraud.
Fraud watch.
Pierre, you are a fraud. Hey,
Fraud watch.
Yeah,
where's
but
the
it's not like they
offside?
can do everything. And
Oh,
Blanca is out now too.
oh
There's
wait,
no
no, they have to
offside.
go, but still, no, that's
That's a goal. There's no offside. How is that a? Where's the offside?
I keep telling
Wow,
you,
wow.
I don't know where they're. I want all the referees from the previous for week 1 to come back.
Yeah,
there's no
listen,
way there's
they
offside.
had a nice dinner reservation in Spain, and they haven't taken the ferry back. But when
Dude,
they
they're
get
Yeah,
trying
back,
to
I'm
keep
sure.
yo, man. They're trying to keep. Yeah, like I said,
like where are they?
this is
Like I was giving them praise the first week. Now I'm questioning them all.
exactly.
Unbelievable. I know, Prince. I'm going to get to your comment here as this game is getting hot. New Caledonia recruited Angelo Fulgini again, and some other League One players in their team. If there's one team that can lose to New Caledonia, it's Jamaica. Listen, I know you're Trinity, and like we'll say it, but I like peace. Listen, for content purposes, I need teams to lose. But for like the sake of the flowers and the trees and the children, I need people to win because we I can't badmine every Caribbean country. I need to support them in ways. I still don't know where this offsides came from, but whatever. Um, and somehow they're gonna call that as a penalty. That's gonna be the annoying thing. They're
You
somehow
know
gonna
what
call
VR is
that
looking
as
into
a
it?
penalty. Somehow, it's gonna be something dumb like that. What is a penalty? That I mean, I might as well just called it that. What is a penalty?
So
Yeah.
VR is looking if there is something.
The more I'm a little bit behind you, so I think they're looking at that there. Ref,
Yeah, they are looking at.
ref, why?
Oh, no, I think it's over.
Yeah, I'm like halfway through the 92nd minute, so I'm behind.
Yeah, I'm in 93rd now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's certainly something for sure.
I think you may have stopped already.
Yeah, so they're doing the VAR check.
No, no VAR check.
Hmm.
Okay. I mean, I earned the check is done.
Okay.
Nothing.
All right.
Game is run. Okay, good. Because if you're gonna give no, if that's the case, then the stream just becomes, come on, guys, really?
They're like, yeah, really.
Because like, look, I get the frustration with the Egypt non-call versus South Africa. I get the frustration with that, but as a defender, what are you supposed to do? You're sliding and you're bracing yourself as you naturally do. Look, as look, Musa, I know you say the slide is better. Listen, you slide like a mummy and you tell me that that's how you should slide, okay? You slide arms crossed as if you're about to drop and go down a water slide and be like, "Yes, I'm defending well."
No, but when you slide that way, right? When you slide that way, why would you put your hand down to begin with? When you're sliding that way, you're going to breast. You're either going to dislocate your shoulder or break your wrist.
True,
And then
but you're
step
also
two
trying to
is that.
brace it a bit. Yeah.
But step two, it's also deflected the ball. If it was like, tap your hand and then the ball stops, I would like, yeah, maybe one of those. But also, I've seen in Europe and other places that has been called a handball.
I By the letter of the law, I get why you call it that, but I also understand why you don't. But the problem with it again is always the consistency, right?
That's
That one versus the one that Ibrahim gets in the Mali against Mali. That one is pure hand hunting. Like he is pure. He sees the hand on the ground and he's like, I'm gonna try to chip it by you, but also I'm going for your hand. Like that's
Yeah.
what that is. And so when I see people saying like those are two different, that's different. That is hunting it. But again, in that same breath, I think if you're getting up off the ground, which is what he's doing, what the defender is doing, how should you be? Why should you be penalized for putting your hand on the ground because you're getting up? Because now you have to learn how to get up again. And now you've slid, you've been dummied once, and now you have to flip your hips and get up. We aren't all the LSU strength training guy. Okay, we can't get up with straight arms. Okay, we can't do
And
that.
well, they're champs. So, but and I think it's just the weird handball rules. You see guys sometimes they run, they're looking to the left, and then the ball hits them on the right hand,
Yeah,
and somebody calls it a PK, even though there was no intention to play the ball. Or, but then, and then the whole Egypt thing. I think if they would not have called the soft PK on Mohamed Salah, then
that
it would
fact
not
is
have been a huge discussion for the other handball
agreed.
because both of them would have been canceled out.
Hmm. No, that I would agree with because we all agree that first penalty was soft. Like no one is debating that
It was
whatsoever.
beyond soft.
Ooh.
All right, we're getting
You
to
see,
the end of this.
this is
Yeah,
pure Gabon's defense being horrendous.
as they always are.
They're making
Gabon is
Mozambique right now looks like they're, you know, Brazil the way they're going through the defense.
Oh, that
yeah.
reminds me of Brazil defense, man.
No, they're making Mozambique's offense look like Brazilians when they're, dancing around
Oh yeah.
Gabon.
No, most
Oh,
definitely.
Oh jeez, that's another. That was that could have been a trip. That could have been a
That
trip.
should have been a goal.
Yeah.
there you go.
But I mean, again, that's the micro story of the game, right? You have Mozambique, who should be up by what 5-2 at this point,
Mhm.
and if Gabon could put things on frame, it should be 5-4. Um, so
Yeah, that's it. Galvano on fraud watch. Let's go. Woo.
the whistle has gone. We have our first fraud watch proclamation by the indomitable Lion 17. It's
Yes,
Cameroonian is shining through.
yes, and
Shining
make
through.
sure the internet knows he has them on fraud watch. I
Yes,
don't.
him. Okay.
It
We want to be certain. Okay, it's this man. It's this. It's this one.
yes,
This one right here.
go on.
This one.
Yeah,
This one said they are
man,
fraud.
he put him front
Okay,
row.
we are just here like, hey, everyone plays well, good games,
Yeah,
purple participation ribbons, but that one said it. But
I
No,
didn't
that.
have Gabon do it.
Hey, look, I'm just putting it out there because look at. I mean, I don't know. I mean, excluding Obama Yang for what he has been doing,
Yeah,
right?
mhm,
The other partner, Jenny Owanga, 46 appearances, 32 goals for in all competitions with LAFC. Literally top 5 player in the MLS. You
yeah.
couldn't, you couldn't get past Mozambique.
but this is where we say it's a team game. It's a team game, and defense. The midfield was mid. The forwards were. I mean, the third goal they score, Buanga is dropping back trying to defend. He's trying to cover the late arriving because no one else is catching him. Is Are we going to criticize him because of that? Yes, we will. But no, it's a fair point. Do you want your stars to come and show up in these big moments? But if you look at the whole set of it, I think ultimately it is a bit of what they were able to do. Let me go take a look at let's take a look at the sofa score here. But let's go first to what the groups look like here, which is now Mozambique firmly in third place. And if we look at the other third place teams, they are firmly in pole to get past and get into the next round. I mean, when you're in a round 16, a win will do that for you. A win will literally do that for you. Let me throw that up because I haven't been throwing it up here, apparently. ADHD is real. So Algeria at the top of their group, they'll be playing later today. The next game is Equatorial Guinea versus Sudan, which I think will be a fun game just for vibes and vibes only. But as we said, Mozambique firmly in third place. Equatorial Guinea will have to play their game, and whoever wins that, they're the same situation as Mozambique and Gabon. A win pretty much puts you in a good, solid position to get out of the group. In Group D, you have Benin, who beat Botswana before, so hopefully they don't get crushed by the next game and they can move through. In Group C, you have Tanzania, who drew with Uganda. Uganda should have won that game. You miss a penalty like that. The ball just landed at their hotel. And Uganda just, I expected more from Uganda in this tournament, and maybe they can give it, but they play Nigeria last, and I mean, I don't expect Nigeria to look that poor. Angola sitting where they are, Zambia as well, but that's where we sit in terms of the groups. When it comes to that, you see that. Look, how are you feeling about your indomitable Lions today, who are getting ready for a big matchup against the, les éléphants de Côte d'Ivoire? Well, we're just praying. We're just straight praying. Just no words, just prayers. Just pray. Look. Bible studies on Tuesday, prayer meetings on Wednesday, but we're getting prayers on a Sunday, sir.
Straight
The
up.
burdens are lifted, sir.
It's let's be real, man. Remember, this is the Cote d'Ivoire that I literally call Lazarus.
I'm sorry about that, guys. Like,
Yeah,
on behalf of Ghana, like we're sorry. Like if we could
yeah,
have beat Mozambique, Cote d'Ivoire don't win. But apparently, Richard Ofori thought he had to bat the ball out for a goal kick, not a corner, and they drew, and then Cote d'Ivoire just didn't lose again. So on behalf of the rest of the West Africans, we're sorry. But they beat Nigeria in the finals, so I'm not mad.
yeah. But
Part
like,
of West Africa, because I'm not.
Hey,
but like I said, that I call them. I call it that's gonna be a huge match, big test for Cameroon. Of course, we're in the same boat as Nigeria, so this is like we trying to make this tournament our bread and butter because we're probably not gonna play another competitive match until maybe after the World Cup, I believe.
mm,
Unless what's it called? We might get called up for some friendlies, but like I said, we're not gonna see another competitive match until next year. Until
yeah.
after the World Cup.
That's true. Maybe a team wants to use you to prepare for Senegal or Cote d'Ivoire. So maybe maybe Cameroon will get to get some frequent flyer miles, end up in North America, play a couple teams, and be like, yeah, we're here to prepare them for and they could join Nigeria in the stands as they watch the World Cup as fans. Yes, I can. Apparently, by brand rules, I have to make like a slight for Nigeria every video. So apologies, apparently, but whatever. When you look at the other matchups that we have coming up for today, you got Equatorial Guinea versus Sudan. Again, same position as Gabon and Mozambique. Algeria versus Burkina Faso, which that's the game I'm intrigued about because
Yes.
Algeria is a side that typically, like the last AFCON, every game felt the same. Start on fire for 40 minutes, somehow end in a 1-1 draw or lose. And so Algeria started off well against Sudan. I need to see them be more consistent for me to believe in them. But hey, I mean, Zidane's watching the sun. So, Luca, we see you. Good job there, Luca. But what are your predictions for those games coming up? Equatorial Guinea, Sudan, Algeria, Burkina Faso, and then I'm assuming you're saying Cote d'Ivoire is going to get away with a draw in this game. I assume. I mean, I think I would assume you're going for a Cameroon win. But Musa, we'll start with you. Predictions for those next couple games.
Oh boy. Ecuador, Guinea probably should win that one. Should. The Algeria, Burkina Faso, I think that will be one of the funnest one to watch due to the fact that you win, you qualify.
Yes.
But I have favorite players on both, so I'm glad I'm just neutral.
Mm. I have to be neutral here. Ghana's not here, so we're out here enjoying it as a fan, like we're in the stands with everyone.
And Ivory Coast, Cameroon. I'm sorry, brother, but I think Cote d'Ivoire is gonna win that one.
I'm not gonna lie. Like this is gonna be this is gonna. I want Cameroon to win, but
Mm.
I can see a draw. A draw could be imminent, but again, this is AFCON is AFCON is chaos
Yes.
Yeah.
every time. We just saw it. We just saw it this morning. So we just saw with this first match today. So you never know what's gonna be. Equatorial Guinea Sudan match. That's a match for survival, in my opinion, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know both were going to be like, especially Equatorial Guinea, after losing like that in extra time against Burkina Faso, they're really trying to actually stay afloat so they can get into those last four spots in the knockouts. Sudan, I think after that the Algeria match, and this is like Sudan's like, I don't think Sudan's gonna probably is not gonna really do much today, but still I think they're gonna keep fighting for what they is because they know that they need their homeland needs something good to be talking about after all this stuff that's happening over there.
Mm. That's true.
Mm-hmm. So it's like I said, it's gonna be survivor. It's gonna be survival match right there. Algeria, Burkina Faso. You can see. I could say Algeria is the stronger team. Is the stronger team. Burkina Faso is still it's still that dog. They have that dog in them. I mean, you got one of the first scorer, Georgie is like hasn't you can see with his left eye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's my guy right there.
yeah,
Yeah, that's my guy.
you can't see with his left eye, but yet he uses it. But yet for some reason his right eye activated Sharingan or something. I don't know.
Hey, when you lose the scent, you gain another one. They always
Yeah.
said
Yeah.
that, right?
Uh-huh. But but yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. And who knows? That game could be ending the draw. They could have just made like a gentleman's agreement and say, you know what, you got 3 points, we got 3 points. Let's just go for the tie, go for four, and we're done.
That's true. I do think we've kind of already seen a blueprint for Burkina Faso and Algeria when we look at what happened with Mali and Morocco. I think Mali are going to try, I think Burkina Faso are going to try to be more physical with the
Mhm.
Algerians, and the Algerians are going to try to play football and try to pass their way through. So I think we've kind of seen it. How do you take away a good passing team? Take away the space. So press them, see what you can do. I think if they come out like that, they have a good chance to go through and get a result, if not a win, because you could argue Mali should have had more than just a draw. In the same way, if you look at the chances that Morocco missed, I think a draw was fair for that game. So I think ultimately we've seen kind of a blueprint for how that game could go. Equatorial Guinea versus Sudan. Listen, this is AFCON. It should be Equatorial Guinea. Ensu, I see you. Go score a goal, please. Why aren't you starting? But this is also AFCON. So knowing that Sudan's going to win 3-1. These are the rules. We don't, it doesn't make sense, but these are the rules.
Sudan 3-1.
He went straight up, straight face,
Yes,
3-1.
How many of us were saying
Okay.
Mozambique were going to go beat Gabon today? Okay, other than Fraud Watch. Okay, you were calling them Fraud Watch. So look, I'll give you your credit, but this is
Yo, no,
AFCON.
you said Sudan 3-1, man. You just like
Eh,
this is gonna be if I see that, that's gonna be I'll be like, damn man, he's right.
If that's
should
the
be.
score, go play the lotto, right? Like
I've been trying, okay? I don't predict things. I just know things. I
don't
took a
forget
call.
about us when you win it all.
Listen, I would, but for economic reasons, I can't bring that over the border. They said it'll ruin the economy, so I'm sorry.
You know what? We'll come your way.
Visits, come. I'll get you green cards. We'll be great.
Hey, I got my pass. I'm good with Canada. I can go
Yeah, I
to
got my
Canada.
True. That's true. That is true. But no, like I don't know if I'm predicting 3-1 Sudan, but everything in me tells me Equatorial Guinea should win this. But because this is AFCON, it'll be the opposite
Don't
result.
take it back. You already said it.
Yeah,
It's
It's
in the
recorded.
it's on the
you
internet.
got on tape.
Yeah.
Listen, this is the least flammable thing I've said. Okay, I predicted Uganda would win their group, and listen, Nigeria said, "Excuse me, no, 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 that's the man. Score a brace.
You
So
had Uganda winning that group?
He sure did.
I did.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, did you Tunisia under the bus?
I'll explain my logic for why I picked it this way. I had Uganda. Uganda was one of those teams that were playing well in World Cup qualifiers. I didn't know which Nigeria I was going to get. Was I going to get the Nigeria who played well with their backs against the wall finally, or the one that couldn't beat Lesotho earlier on? Like, which one? Which one were we going to get? Tunisia, similarly, Ensu is deemed ineligible, and then they lose. Some points for that, and then they come back, and then ultimately, then it turns into a situation where if they gave the points to Equatorial Guinea, Tunisia doesn't qualify as well. And Tunisia is a good, solid defensive side, but they aren't necessarily the most scary offensively. And so I figured, you know what? Uganda have looked probably the most consistent other than Tunisia. So why not give them the chance and say, you know what, Nigeria, maybe this is where they collapse finally, or they struggle their way to the semifinals, and we keep on asking, how can they keep getting away with this? And so that was my logic. As you can see, it's gone well.
So back to your comments about now. Back to your comment about Nigeria. Either they play with their backs against the wall, or they play like they did against Lesotho and lose. I mean, put this in mind: Nigeria, the Nigerian people are very serious about their football, and I remember when they lost to DR Congo in the Intercontinental Playoff, the reactions were fierce.
Yes.
Were very fierce. Like, I mean, I'm thinking like these people are gonna, if these people come back home, their houses are gonna get Molotov cocktails out the walls. You know, like I'm not even sure how many of them actually how many of them even went back they went back to their homes in Nigeria because of how badly they were criticized for what they did. The NFF, you I mean, the NFF getting exposed by the Nigerian people over how they allocate the funds and use it to just enrich themselves. Like it was. I'm just saying, like I told you, Nigeria, you have the most pressure in this thing. You need to win this thing.
They do, and I think ultimately for them, I'm not worried. Like Nigeria is interesting in terms of how I see them. I'm probably hardest on them because the collection of talent that they have does never equals the results that they should have. And that's the honest truth. Right. This is yes, the Ghanaian in me will always take a chance to be like, oh, and your jollof is trash. Like it comes out. It's natural. It's a habit, I can't stop it. And I feel like we're gonna have a good conversation.
Wow. You just split that.
Welcome.
It went straight forward, man.
You are among friends. But
that's beautiful.
You gotta check your IP address, dog.
Yeah, the criticism with Nigeria is for the talent that they assemble, they never put it together as they should. And it's not just, they have a great striker. Across the board, you have players playing in every top league, minus your goalie. And so I think that is where my criticism is always harsher on them, because your midfield should be solid, your wingers and your strikers should be borderline elite, and your defensemen have been, or at least, even if you think they're bad, they are far more than serviceable. And so, yes, the Federation mashed up the entire thing for World Cup qualifier. That's on them, okay? You can't turn and say, okay, we had a coach who took us the AFCON final last time. Let's replace him and get a legend who hasn't coached at this level yet, and say, no, it's okay. It's just Lesotho and Rwanda. Guess what? Lesotho and Rwanda say hello. We drew. So I didn't know how to trust them in that sense. And that's always the struggle with Nigeria. On paper, anytime, and I have a friend, we always say this, like anytime you expect Nigeria to come out and beat a team 4-0, you know it's going to be a struggle 1-0 where it's Osimhen misses 3 shots, it bounces off of a crossbar, and then at the end of the game, you're like, it's 1-0, but no one is happy, right? And so for that, that's where the criticism comes from, truly and honestly. It has nothing to do with the rivalries, and that is there. But for the talent that they have access to, the results never match it consistently. And that's on the players, that's on the coach, that is also on the federation, because what are you doing? Like, what are you actually doing? And so that's where it comes from in my heart. It truly comes from there in my heart. That's where the criticism comes. But I feel like I've said too many Rice comments for the day. Also, for the record, I do think Senegalese jollof is probably top tier, but
it's not probably. You got to retract that.
I don't
probably retract.
I can mute
probably.
you, Musa. I could just mute you. Like, you don't exist. Like,
all right.
And I will go on my live, and then I'm going to say Africa made a false statement, and then I will go out.
That'll be the entire live. He lied. Okay, thanks. Comment, subscribe.
What's happening? What's going on,
Batunji,
y'all?
how you doing, big guy?
I'm good, man. I just woke up, saw the messages, and I was like, you know what? I'm actually available to apparently have my whole country trashed on as soon as I hop in the stream.
Was unintended. I saw the green and I wasn't sure. I was like, maybe I shouldn't, but then my heart was like, poke it just in case.
It was just that guy.
No. If there's, like I said, if there's any country, any continent that matches much, it's Africa, especially during AFCON. The banter is real.
Oh no, the banter is. I enjoy it all the way from over here in Nashville, Tennessee. But I mean, just piggybacking off of your Nigerian comments, I mean, you're right. The talent is there. The main thing that we've seen with Nigeria over the past 10 years probably is just squandered potential. Like, I don't want to say it's the players. I do think that they don't perform as well, but when I look at that, like, you guys see my Tennessee Titans flag. Obviously you see my Nashville Solid Club, but I'm going to focus on the Titans real quick and then relate that to Nigeria. The Titans back in 2016-17 had a general manager who completely destroyed the franchise. It's been 10 years.
He looks great at green. AJ Brown looks great at green.
I don't want to talk about that. That's a really sore point. That's the first thing he did that really just destroyed the franchise. 10 years later, we're finally at a point where, like, let's try and turn this thing around. Nigeria, there's a lot of things that has gone wrong, and it's not just in the football. It's in the country. Like, a lot of Nigerians, and maybe I'm speaking out of turn for the whole country, but a lot of Nigerians don't love being in Nigeria right now. They don't love, like, the feeling of what is happening in their country. And sometimes I feel like that relates to the football players. There's like the whole idea that there's not like the die here mentality of Nigerian footballers. So you're seeing that, like, some of that passion is not there. And it's because they're not getting paid. The NFF is not paying them, bro. And on top of that, you've got we talked about it, the misappropriated funds. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much wrong with this team that playing football seems to be the last like priority for them. But they beat Tunisia.
I talked about this with Musa the other day. I talked about how there was the field, right? They were like both Nigeria and Kenya got the same amount of allocation money to help build, to help develop fields in their respective countries, to help develop, right? They showed the Nigerian one, which was just a field, like a little small sand, nothing around it, just full of like dirt and some construction material, right?
Yeah.
They showed, and then they showed Kenya. And Kenya got like a big, kind of like a pretty, like a somewhat small dome stadium that they did with their allocation money. And keep in mind, Kenya is obsessed with football, but they're not very good at it.
and I
My
think
best friend is
and
Kenyan,
that's
so like I know too much about Kenyan football right now.
and that's his point, right? And I think you guys have all made a great point. And the whole money side of things, I think is probably the most interesting part. I've spoken to some of the guys that I know within Nigeria soccer, or even more African soccer in general. One of the biggest things they've showed is that how comfortable you can make your national team players or even your club team players, how comfortable you can make them when they're representing your flag or your country. It's how their performance will show, right? If you have Nigeria, the first thing when they're being called up, the first thing they have in mind is, are we going to have proper support? Are we going to have the money? Are we going to have proper transportation? Are we going to get proper this and that? Do you really want your top athletes to think about these small things? Or you want them to just come ready and say, you know what? I know my position. I know my job. This is all I have to do. Everything else is going to be taken care of. That's why Morocco is showing the world where everybody else is well taken care of. But Morocco's camp, if you guys have seen it, they have everything that the Western world can ask for and then some. So your guys are coming, they're ready. All they have to worry about is where I'm going to sleep and how I perform. Unfortunately for Nigeria is that 90% of them don't care about the money that we're talking at this point because they make that in a week. But the guys that are the top 10 guys, they could care less. But underneath it, all the guys that go from 11 down, all of the staff, all of the coaches, this is their money for it, right? So it's not like the big guys making the money. It's the smaller one that's underneath it that the money that's allocated to them is what their livelihood depend on. And what the stadiums we're talking, right? The whole entire continent of Africa, if you watch the national stadiums, are state-of-the-art stadiums. But then you have Nigeria, who is they represent Africa for the past 30 plus 40 years. These countries should not have, that discussion should never happen for the Nigeria, the Ghana, the Cameroon, Senegal. That money discussion should never happen for them because they've established enough. And unfortunately, you have Nigeria.
I said, have we though? I mean, listen, tell me a worse combination than African football federations and money management. That's a worse combination. Never seen it. I've never seen it.
And I think the problem is that the old school guys, right? I think Senegal, Morocco, these have shown that if you put proper people in there and people that already have money, that people that are already established. Cameroon is another great example, right? Eto, he does not need to be corrupt. He has more money than the federation himself. If you put people that already are established, people that already have money, and they could care less about the few $100,000 that you can get paid by someone to be corrupt, then your federation will then flourish because the money aspect is not important to those folks.
I'm actually not gonna lie, I'm pretty mad at Eto. Yeah, I am pretty mad at Eto because
there's a few things there, but the money part is one thing he's not doing bad. But
the money part is not doing bad in it, but also the fact is that when he came in, one of the things he did was, and I'm not a fan of it, is that he got the women's program.
Oh.
Yeah. He got the women's program, which really like hits me because I am a proud supporter of women's football, and I believe in equal pay heavily, right? But when he did that, I said that's the first crack right there. Like you said, Eto does not need to be corrupt, but at the same time, he's doing a poor job. Poor job managing this federation. Also,
there's
also,
questionable moves.
also, for the record, when I talk about Kenya, I also add the fact is like, yeah, my father is Cameroonian, but my mom is Kenyan. So when I
Yeah,
talk, so when I talk about Kenya and their football infrastructure, in their kind of football kind of thing, I'm saying this out of what I've seen.
oh yeah.
Oh, we
And
know.
that's
Hey, you know what? We're all Africans to a part. We have seen. We always internally joke about, when it comes to African football or soccer, corruption comes hand to hand. Um, but yeah, I always get mad when I hear those discussions of any African countries where when it's national team, and then you hear, oh, they don't have proper transportations, they don't have proper this, proper that. I'm like, it shouldn't be the case to begin with.
agreed.
Yes, we're not, you're not European or to have the crazy funds, but you do have the funds. There's a certain African country that paid 17 or 18 million dollars to the Argentinian Federation to have a certain team play. Like that that's a few academies, right? that
I
that's
know, right?
AFCON for the next 20 years.
Or
Exactly.
no, be even worse. Be that other country, that other country in Asia that paid 10 million just to sit, they paid 10 million just for him to kick around the ball when your federation is in the dust.
And when your league is burning to the ground,
Literally, literally
yeah,
burning to the ground. But
yeah,
it's okay.
because you saw City, right? City had sponsor. City had partnered with one team. They were like, we're out."
Just immediately, just they came and like,
Yeah,
actually, no.
yeah,
The Homer Simpson, we're in and
yes,
we're out.
yes. It's like they're a City group that talk about money. They just said, you know what? Yeah, we're out.
But that's where like that's why like, and I always joke with this, but it's true. That's why I think a lot of some African fans are annoyed. But then you look at what Morocco's doing, it's like, no, they're the golden child for good reason, for good reason. It's like,
You got
look,
blank check.
yes, they've blank checked it, but it's like you can hear you can hear that one auntie you have who's just like, why can't you be like Morocco? Morocco just hosted the women's U17s. Why can't you be like Morocco? They won a bronze medal at the Olympics. Why can't you be like Morocco? They won the U20s. Their senior team won. Why can't you be like Morocco? And you're just like, listen, we're trying out here, okay? And then I look at Ghana, it's just like the last World Cup final. It's like, oh, we have to pay all the board members $100,000 for being board members. I'm like, you could have paid your rest for 3 years in your struggling Premier League, but you know what, board members, it's okay. It's important. It's important. Yeah, it's real important.
Yeah, I'll slap anybody that goes and says they need to get paid to be a board member. You do that for your country, just like the players are doing this for your country.
Yeah,
Maybe administration has to get paid, yes, because there's administration. But you're a board member. You go once a month, sit down on a very comfortable chair. They'll make sure they feed you, they house you for that time being, and you say you want to get paid $100,000. We're gonna find somebody else.
Perfect. No, that's true. And I think that's how you have to look at it. As we're saying this, Equatorial
Oh yeah.
Guinea and Sudan have just kicked off. I didn't get Tunji. I didn't get your score prediction for this game, but how do you see this game going as we get going? And we keep on having conversations with it, but how do you see this game going for you?
Equatorial Guinea and Sudan, right?
Yes,
Hani Mukhtar's not playing for Sudan right now, so it's got to be Equatorial Guinea.
that is true. And
Wow.
Emilio Insu is not playing for Equatorial Guinea either, and so again, on paper, this should be Equatorial Guinea winning, but because this is AFCON, this ends somehow Sudan 3-1. And you know what? I committed to it, and I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to it.
Sudan 3-1. I'll go Equatorial Guinea 2-1.
If this game ends in a scoreless draw, I am throwing things. I'm sorry. I cannot. I'm saying, listen, I watched Comoros versus Zambia, and I'm like, okay, give me something. Halfway through that game, we were cheering passes strung together as if they were goals.
Oh,
Okay, so I'm
that's
seeing goals in
rough.
this game. I
Yeah,
am seeing goals.
I was passing on my, I was passing out. I was like, I can't continue this.
And we gotta give mad respect though to the Sudanese crowd because what I'm watching here,
Yeah,
they they got a crew.
Oh, I
yeah,
see their flags out and everything.
Yeah,
they are well supported on both sides. No doubt about it.
gotta give
But no, I
them.
think
Yeah. Oof.
Oh,
Nice
and I
switch.
think the other part that we also have to talk about, and we haven't just yet, but do you see the difference when now you're watching AFCON now and even with Ivory Coast compared to previous years? This is like professional soccer now that you're actually seeing compared to before when it was like patches of grass
Oh,
and you
yeah.
thought that they were really showing third world, soccer. This is that's what we talk proper, and that looks better than some field in the rest of the world,
No, true.
including here, North America.
The infrastructure investments that Morocco has made, yes, it has. Let's not pretend like it didn't create protests saying, "Why are you investing all this money into grass?"
Oh,
But hey, it's worth it. It's showing well, and so as
could
it
have scored
only
that.
works. Yeah, they gotta score that. Like it only does work if you're winning. And credit to Morocco, they're winning in all their tournaments. So it's just like, yes, did we put $65 million into this? Yes, but look at the trophies. You can't look away. Look at the trophies. So
Yeah.
they at least have that. If it's that, and then they're getting like, yeah, I'll throw myself. If it's Ghana results they're getting, oh please, National Stadium is gone. People are taking grass for their front lawns. Say, like, listen, you invested. I need a farm. Take this. I take this grass.
Hey, it's holding because we've seen a lot of rain and there was nothing.
oh yeah, they were getting drenched.
Mm-hmm.
No,
But I think
Yeah,
it
not
says
like
now
those
they're ready.
women's CONCACAF games. Yeah,
They're ready for the World Cup. You can tell that this is their dry run to see if infrastructure wise everything is working.
it should have just been in, like, honestly, it should have just been the three. That whole World Cup just to make sure we get Saudi Arabia 2034. Like, I appreciate that we're not pretending to jump through hoops. We're just being upfront about it. Hey guys, we want the oil money. So we're going to host it in every other confederation so that we can get Saudi Arabia 2034. I can appreciate just the pure honesty of it, but it's going to be a cluster of it's going to be so stupid in 4 years.
we'll also add the fact that they're not going to even we're probably going to be hosting it in 2035
Mm.
because of the Muslim holiday.
That's too. They'll just do. Ooh, that's fair. Uh, listen, Infantino got his check already, so it's happening in December, and
Yeah,
he'll be like, "What?"
I mean, I'm just saying. Like, I just put it on. Like, they talk about how they talk about how the AFCON interrupts the European game. The we're about to have two World Cups being played in the winter, and that's going to cause a lot of match congestion. I know that for sure.
They're
Agreed.
just talking.
Yeah, they're just it's just again the reason why AFCON gets all the bad pub. It's because it's the most publicly inconvenient. Right when
Mhm.
the when the Asian Cup happens, no one's just like, "Oh, we're gonna lose Son." It's Spurs. You always gonna lose Son. And then everyone else is just like, "Oh, we're gonna lose these players." It's like, yeah, it's every 4 years. I don't like the idea to go to that topic where it's like we're gonna play AFCON every 4 years. Okay. And we're gonna have Nations League now in the place of AFCON the other, like, then okay, so one of the two things doesn't add up here. You just like then just play AFCON every 2 years then. Like,
And isn't it what it was supposed to be anyways? So it's in between the World Cup because the World Cup is supposed to be our staple tournament, and then everybody else is every other, so that way it does not interfere. But
it was
guess what?
yeah.
Well,
Right.
they're gonna have to deal with it because African soccer now is come. It's starting to go to where it's supposed to have been a very long time. If you want to be a global team, you will have African stars, and you will have to let them go when it comes to their country's tournament. That's part of the thing. So if you do not want to be interrupted, then don't hire them.
Also, let me also throw this up. Let me do a shout out to Deadball TV, the team that have been they've been covering the AFCON, and I remember when the news came out to switch to for your thing. The one thing he talked about was, why are we Europeanizing? Yeah, we're Europeanizing the global game. Like we don't need a Nations League, and I agree completely. I the first time I saw Nations League, I was like, what is this? You know, because like Europe started it first. Now we also have a CONCACAF Nations League, which is the dumbest thing I ever seen in my life. You know.
Yeah, and I think the Conference League, the whole purpose of that from the very beginning when I saw it was that in Europe we have what, 5 or 6 teams that will beat up everybody no matter what. So the whole point to have that was to have the smaller nations to have the opportunity to compete at the global stage and showcase their players, their country, and etc. That's why they added that Nations League. So you can see those AFCON show exactly that we have 5 or 6 huge national teams, but when they play against, in quote, smaller teams, the chaos is still there.
Let's see.
AFCON had the chaos already. We don't need to add more.
All right.
Europe did not.
But if you move it to a 4-year cycle, would you lose? That's what what do you lose on a 4-year cycle?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me pull up the Nations League. All right. So we had
you do that.
Yeah, exactly. So let me just put this down. Right. They started Nations League as early as the 2018-19 cycle. Right. I don't see any smaller European teams in this. I see the first final was between Portugal and Netherlands 1-0. Second one, France versus Spain. France wins 2-0. Spain versus Croatia. Spain wins 5-4 in penalties. And in Portugal versus Spain, they win 5-3 in penalties. Are any of those small European teams?
In the finals, but I think that they were given the opportunity to play against those. And we all know, right? Even AFCON and any other tournaments, that's why they extended those tournaments for that reason. So smaller teams get the opportunity. But we all know semifinals and finals, unless there's that dream run, most likely is not going to happen. And that's why we also know, right? The World Cup, there's only 8 countries that have won it. Now they extended it, so there's a little bit more opportunities. They saw what Morocco did. So let's add a little bit more of that spice, right? See who else can come up with it. So fortunately, it's becoming a global sport now, and everybody has figured out that they might not like it. People in North America always, make jokes of what soccer is, but football is the only sport in the world where the money is real.
I mean, I'm just saying how it is. They just it's UEFA, man. No, UEFA. No, in my opinion, UEFA is just trying to it's trying to be like it's trying to monopolize. It's monopolizing the game.
FIFA.
Yeah. No, I mean, no, I
But it
mean,
is UEFA at the end of the day
Yeah,
through
because,
FIFA.
yeah,
However,
because if you think about it, though, if you watch the UEFA president, he's pushing back on a lot of things that FIFA is actually implementing.
yeah,
There's
I mean,
that there's that battle between UEFA and FIFA because adding all these tournaments and all that has kind of messed a little bit with UEFA. With their even the Champions League and everything else. So there's FIFA, but there's that one battle. So it's more of a FIFA
Ebe.
thing.
Sorry, the AFCON shot came. No
Yes,
one in net over the crossbar. We are in AFCON.
that's normal.
mhm.
But no, I think like to go on to piggyback on some of this. I don't. The idea in principle is very theoretical when it comes to Nations League because it's we want to countries can't get friendlies. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Get the thing that you've now killed is the friendly, right?
Yes,
Which means on a very competitive level, if you are now asking a player, yes, you're asking a player from any country to say, hey, you want to come in and see what the camp is for insert country? Hey, do you want to come to Canada, see how we play? Hey, do you want to come to Nigeria, see how we play? Where do they have the opportunity to do that? And that's for me, right? So if you kill the friendly, basically you're now asking every player from the get-go to be like, hey, I commit myself to this country, and now I have to trust that federation. We just had a conversation about money in African federations. You have to trust them to put that player in their best interest versus saying, hey, let me go to England for a bit. My mom's Italian. Let me see what the Italian camp looks like. Let me then what I also am from Cape Verde. Let me go see what that looks like. You're effectively killing that for now. You're asking players, and yes, I know some players will make the decision early. For me, that's where I have the issue with because it feels as theoretical as even if you look at we'll use English soccer, the dream of hey, if you're a Sunday league team, if you grow through the ranks, you could one day be in the Premier League. Which yeah, one day in 8 years, if everything goes well, every year. And so this idea of we want to add more of these things. No, give me a friend. I don't care if I see Bolivia lose to South Korea 12-0. I'll watch it. I will seriously watch it.
yeah, because of the matchup. You never because of the matchup itself. You never see these two countries play like that.
Mhm.
Uh-oh,
I
somebody
agreed.
put
And for
something in the
anyone from
comment that
Bolivia, I
hurts
don't
my
think you're looking
feelings.
that much. Oof. Oh, let me get that comment there.
That's a touchy subject.
Steph, Steph. You would bring this up. You want to keep France with all the African players. Listen, hey, don't blame them for their effective colonization program.
I
And
know,
now it's a problem. Hey, don't blame them for their effective colonization program. It did wonders, okay?
They
damn it,
colonized and integrated, man.
both
Golly.
them in Belgium.
Listen, I will
Hey,
never be mad. Like
I,
any player who chooses where they play, I'm never gonna be mad at you. Even if you take your time, go do it. Your career is not long, my guy. And
Hmm.
yes, in the same breath,
he's starting trouble.
look, a federation doesn't have to wait for you. But I mean, let's not pretend that federations are these saints that stand on the mountaintop and say, "Oh, but they told us no. What else could we do?" They said every one of us has a story about a player who wanted to play for our African nation, and where do they find? And then they said they weren't good enough, or they had to pay. They make sure they made the team, of course. Their flights and for their kits and those things, and then they didn't, and then they became big, and then we're just like, oh, they didn't want to play for Africa. Why do we chase these players? No, 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 they did. You just decided you want to go about it this way, and we like to pretend that. Oh, but think of your mother and your aunts. You must represent your African nation.
I got something to tell you. I remember I was watching. I remember watching the last World Cup with my mom, and we were watching France. My mom started. It is the first time my mom ever saw Kylian Mbappe.
Mm.
Yeah, Kylian Mbappe. And when I told her where his dad is from, my mom went ballistic and said, "How? How? Ooh.
They can't believe it, man. They can
I
never believe it.
I freaking I was crying. Especially, I was crying when I said some when I heard about his origin, especially back when he made his debut at 19 in the 2018 World Cup in Russia. I was like,
But like every federation has that. Like even if you look at CONCACAF, like a player like Raheem Sterling, we know he went to try to play for Jamaica, and we know they said not good enough, and then they're just like, oh well, him not commit. It's like if you do the research and find there's stories like that everywhere. It's not just an African thing, but it's frustrating that for me to go back to the original point of Nations League versus in the 4-year cycles, you're taking those opportunities away, right? If I can't have a friendly where I can say, hey, just come by, look, get wet your feet, play, we're playing. Like if Nigeria goes and plays Estonia randomly, like, look, you're England, you're born in England, come on down. See how you like it. If you don't like it, that's fine. If you like it, great. But we're taking those opportunities away, and now we're just gonna get angrier and angrier when it just, oh, why doesn't this player want to come? I don't know, because do you want to commit yourself to a country at 19? Some players do, and some players are like, my DNA has 8 countries in it, so I'm gonna look at all 8 of them. Okay, I'm gonna see
Yeah,
which spices hit. Okay,
And,
which
right.
of these spices hit me? I want to know. Okay, I need to
Don't
see it.
play games with that,
yeah,
man.
and
You
they
have
have those rules.
options, explore.
Yeah, and right,
Exactly.
they have those rules, right? If you're a player that played 5+ years in a certain country, you can get your citizenship.
Yeah.
But I think people forget as well. There's a lot of things that how we're, and I'm just speaking per experience, right? Do you know that Griezmann could play for Portugal?
Yeah.
How many people talk about, oh well, he's Portuguese, he could have played for Portugal, but he's playing for France? The only reason why they're saying that is because it's African players.
Well, I
Why
mean,
they're going since Laporte. Well,
Mhm.
now it's Laporte, right? Who does he
Yes.
play for?
Hmm.
He plays for Spain, right?
Yeah.
But he played all the way to senior to France. So when he was playing for the French national team, his name was Laporte.
Right.
He goes to
Wow.
Spain, it's Laporte.
Hey.
But no one has talked about it just because it's us French players. Then us internally, we talk about it, right? It's like, oh, so Laporte now it's Laporte.
I mean, I have a friend who's Algerian, and she told me about how many. She told me about how many what French internationals that could have played for Algeria.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I'm just speaking per experience for a lot of people that talk about African players, right? So I've gone through that process. I went, born and raised in France, Paris. If you look at all of the players, the Dembele, the I've all Mahrez and all that. I've seen them your age, right? But
Mhm.
a lot of the players, they say African players, they're born and raised in France, right? Kamavinga is one of the exceptions where he was born in another country, and then came to France and happened to play. If you watch everybody else, are Parisians, right? But they grew up with the whole federation. You go to the whole French federation system. Who do you think they're going to play for?
Mm.
But then you have Africa, where the only time an African nation is going to call you is when you make it to the senior team and you're already a name or an established name in the world. Then they pick up the phone. It's like, hey, your mom's from Senegal and your dad's from Senegal. Come play for us. It's like,
Man,
I just played from
It,
age 5 to age 18. You never called me because you wanted Sadio Mane, but now you want me because I'm a 17-year-old. That's not how
Yeah.
it works.
that's
No.
what
You gotta
that's
show
what
respect.
I forgot who said it, but someone said that France program. What was
Yeah.
it called again?
Yeah. we're in the system
The Clairefontaine.
from age 5. From age 5, if you ball out, they will make sure that you have every single thing you need to be in the national team. But now, if you watch in today's day, right? Did you guys watch the Senegal game against DR Congo, right? Did you see a certain 17-year-old that came in towards the end and that assisted to make sure that Sadio Mane scored? Guess who he plays for? PSG. His dad played for Senegal national team. He went to the ranks of the French national team, right? But the bond that he had with Senegalese soccer, how his dad talked about it, how the people around him, talked about it, how Senegal came to him before he was Ndiaye, right? Before he made it to the first team with Paris Saint-Germain, they already started that build-up of the idea of you possibly playing for Senegal. He was supposed to play for France. Didier Deschamps was not happy when he heard that he made the change. We're talking the first team national coach had you on his list to make it, right? The problem is that right now France is so stacked that you are probably not going to make it just yet. But he had all of the promises that he was going to make it with French first team. But guess what? Senegal also made the right calls. Now you got Senegal has a 17-year-old prodigy that went to the Paris Saint-Germain system, scores his first goal 2 weeks before he goes to AFCON. And then he comes at the 70th minute. He dribbles past everybody, takes a shot, misses it, Sadio Mane equalize.
Yeah.
Africa can't do that. They just
that's
wait until you're 20.
That's why I know. That's why that once that US National Training Center is finished, it's gonna we're gonna start. They're gonna start doing the same thing, getting their hands on these first, second generation Americans with descent going back to maybe around South America, Africa, whatsoever, And I think we're going to see there's going to be a huge difference in teams, a huge difference in this national team come after 2026.
Agreed. That's going to be US's. That's what I've always said is the US's biggest advantage. I'm like, dude, you have people that are first, second, third gen who identify as American citizens, as United States nationals that are coming from all over the world. Everywhere else, China, you go to China, their national team is full of Chinese people. You know what I mean? Nigeria, you go to Nigeria, their Nigerian team is full of Nigerian people. The American football, the ideal global or national football team for United States of America should be players from everywhere, because that's what the ideal of this nation is. And I feel like if they can actually lock, and that's what they're doing. I'm not saying they're not doing that, but you just got to they got to get better at picking and choosing a little bit earlier. And it's hard. It's hard for them. I'll admittedly, it's hard when you don't have you haven't had a coach that people really believe in a long time. You haven't had the system to really develop these people. And that's the biggest complaint that, everyone has. But like you said, man, for me, the ideal is grab some of these kids before they start looking to outside of the country, grab them, put them in the right systems, put them in the right situations. And the United States could be a global. I might be talking crazy, but I believe it. It could be a global superpower when it comes to this, and not just how we say on paper. You know what I mean? I see right now, what is the United States ranked globally? 15th, 16th, or something like that.
Which
I don't believe that.
Somewhere there.
I don't believe that. Do you believe that?
No, and believe
as the only non-American, hell no.
That's what I'm saying. There's no way.
So look at this, right? So I live 40 minutes away from the construction site of the National Training Center, right? I mean, I actually drove in there and just took a look for myself, right? It's huge.
Massive.
Yeah, isn't
That's
it
what
why?
you need.
Isn't it
That's what you
Argentina
need,
has
man.
one in Miami, right? That they're building.
They're building one in Miami, but this one in Fayetteville that they're building in Fayetteville, Georgia. Like I said, it's probably gonna outdo a lot of facilities that I've seen already because they're taking ideas from the other countries and how they're doing it. And of course, one of the big things is that they got a generous donation from Arthur Blank. If you're familiar with Arthur Blank,
That helps.
Offer blank check.
Yep.
Yeah, bro. We know about Mr. Benz.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the guy,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna tell you right now, that guy has his name on everything in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
Guys, I gotta bounce, man. I'm so sorry, but hopefully if you
No,
guys
it's
are
all
back,
good.
and, yeah, this was fun, man. I'm glad I
Yeah.
was able to hop on with y'all, man.
Yeah.
But
Before you go, just let people know where they can find you. If you got any contact stuff like that, so they can go and get you. I know you've been quiet, and the Nashvilleian in you is still strong, and the Nigerian is weeping, but it's okay. You have AFCON.
Oh
You have
man,
AFCON.
oh man, the Nigerian has been weeping for years now. But yeah, my name is Tunji SF Doom. You can usually find me at NSC soccer games with an MF Doom mask on, hyping
yeah,
up the
it's like, where's
crowd.
the
I'm
dude
one of
at?
the capos. It's in my car, bro. It's in my car. But you can also find us online. Mixtape 615 is my supporter group. We have a podcast that we do. I've taken a hiatus just because I tore my Achilles this year, so just had to figure that out. And you can also find my personal content on Young Turtle. So I am an avid Pokemon streamer. So if you want to, yeah, Young Turtle,
Let the blurred flow.
YUNGTURRTLE. Huh?
I said, let the blurred flow. Let it
Oh,
flow.
Oh, bro, it's
Hey, you see the Mozambique? Look, check this out. You see the video of the Mozambique players in the
Yeah.
in the locker room.
Mhm. Hey, this is what you. This is what I want, man. This is why you want.
This is AFCON. This is AFCON, bro. Let's put that on a shirt. Put that dance on a shirt and then put this is AFCON. All right, y'all. Peace out. I'll see y'all later.
Peace out, y'all.
All right, see ya.
Perfect.
Let's see.
That was Stungy. We'll put him in the script as we go through. But yes, I know we got people trickling in and out. Good to see you guys here. We're just talking. We're just chilling. Equatorial Guinea have looked better than Sudan so far, but they have nothing to show for it. And so actually no, Sudan have looked better. I got my colors wrong. My bad. But still 0-0 in that game. And we've talked about everything. Chris Smith, good to see you as well. Yes. We're paneling in. JD might show up a little bit later. We're not sure, but if he does, no Dutch conversations, okay, Musa? No Dutch conversations. We're keeping it
Why
simple.
me?
Yeah, you
Why
Dutch and
me?
Belgian greats. We're not doing that here. We're talking about Africans. Actually, speaking of Africans, the greatest potential Burundi player of all time, Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh, then you just throw that out there.
If we're gonna connect the dots of who could have been great, Kevin De Bruyne could have played for Burundi and would have been like the greatest Burundi player of all time.
Yeah, it's a global sport. Now, all of these players probably could play for 4 countries for all we know these days.
True. Listen. The training centers look good, but again, right now, like Steph, right now it's mortgage versus World Cup for me, and right now, I think I'll just take a breath of the World Cup. I'll just take the train downtown and just feel the breeze. Like, oh, that was good. Okay, I'm going home.
Just join the party.
Right. But right now, in the game, it's still 0-0. We got Equatorial Guinea.
Just make sure they don't charge for the fan zones.
Hey, listen, we will riot on things, okay? We got Sudan with a free kick coming up here as we get into more of the fun conversations that we've been having. Over through, kick it, pass, terribly done because now, So that free kick was. This game is starting to. At least they can string together passes. Oh, as I say that, they can't string together passes. No. Yeah, this is what I get for being like Equatorial Guinea should win this. It's everywhere. It's even Ontario. You look at like the ODPL and stuff like that, right? So you got to improve, and that's like the one disappointing thing for Canada. What's Canada's legacy from this World Cup? The answer:
Yeah, that's a whole another discussion.
yeah, there's no answer. Like we don't have a permanently improved stadium. We don't have a training center. We don't have more pitches in communities. There's nothing from this tournament that is legacy to build off of. Heck, they didn't even redo Lamport. Like, there's a lot of disappointment for Canada in terms of their hosting with what could arguably be their greatest generation to date, and the legacy that they're leaving forth is nothing, nothing at all.
Well, maybe they should follow what Morocco's doing. Maybe.
Invest 65 million, sir. Yeah. Tune into Canadian politics. See how that will go. We want to put more things into. We can't even look. I get the climate, but we can't even get like proper grass pitches in this country, which would be. Okay, listen, call MLSC. Maybe they'll help us.
It's not surprising. It's not like the U.S. is also going berserk on.
No, they just said NFL stadiums. What? Yes.
Yeah, that's why.
I hope they don't do the carpet grass thing again because Copa taught us no, just no.
I don't think they share too much of what's actually being spent on the tournament, because I think, especially how the economy and everything's going, I don't think for the American audience that would go far.
Yeah.
Due to that part, because I don't think it will go well when they say, "Oh, we're spending X amount of money on the sporting event tournament."
Yeah. Agreed. Chris Smith's asking this question. I think I'll put it to you guys here. But for context, we have 7 teams who are at AFCON who will be going to the World Cup. Potentially 8 with DR Congo. But of the teams that are going to the World Cup, which ones have done the most for you to improve their stock into how well you think they'll do at the World Cup? So based on how they played at AFCON so far, which teams you think have done the most to say, actually, yeah, I think round of 16, quarterfinals, I think we could see a team like that do that. Who for you has done that? Musa, I'll go to you first because you to guess. And you can't say Senegal. I get to say, no, I'm joking. Say who you want to say.
I don't know. I don't think at this moment. South Africa.
We're just really trying to anger the Mexicans. But
no, but I have to say it's who has shown me a little bit more of it, especially the Egypt game.
Yeah.
Because Egypt is a World Cup team as well.
Yeah.
Most people thought that Egypt was going to run away with it.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason why Egypt ran with it, in quote, was because of questionable calls. And for South Africa, maybe not to finish their opportunities, because if they would have finished those chances, it would have been a different discussion today. Morocco has not shown me much yet, especially with 2 games already. Senegal also has not shown me too much. Nigeria's not going, so, and Ivory Coast, I'm curious to see what the next game for them today against Cameroon will tell me. So far, of the teams that we know of, South Africa is the team that's played well enough against Egypt, and Egypt needed help to beat them.
Again, it's a little bit early, but you've seen what some teams can look at their best, and then you've also seen what some of their deficiencies are. Morocco aren't at full strength, so if you're saying, okay, you've gone 4 points up, if they had won that game, refs not included, you would have been like, if Morocco's doing this and Saïs is out, and then Hakimi's coming up, I think that would be interesting. I think Morocco will always get that benefit of the doubt for me, just because, again, I've always said They feel very designer, though the physicality it did show a little bit of a okay, maybe if you push them around that can happen, but you're not going to get. I don't think you're going to get as. I don't think a team like Mali is going to be as that bullish against or that bullish against them. Say like a Brazil will be. Like
Right.
I think that'll be more. That could be more of a passing. Yes, there'll be some physicality into that game, but I think that'll go. But again, matchups matter and how you're playing. That's why I'm not really even making a real prediction for the World Cup until after March. Because after March, it's like, okay, who's healthy, who's not supposed to be healthy, who looks good in these games here, and then we go from there. Because the June ones, the games before June, the games in June right before, they're hey, let's go over things, let's make sure we know what we're doing, and then let's call it again. I'm not because you win a game in June right before the June World Cup, I ain't gonna be like they're going all the way.
Yeah.
But
And don't hurt yourself.
mhm. I think, and Chris, you're saying here, Morocco and Senegal will be good in the World Cup. I agree. Don't sleep on Cote d'Ivoire. They're a side I think are built to be bullies and to be finesse. And let me actually pull up the groups as we're here and talk about that. I think those aren't two bad calls for it, but let's take a look at the groups real quick here. Da, 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 da. South Africa. South Africa, when your goalie's your best player, you have a chance, right? And Ronan Williams is their best player and is the best goalkeeper, right? And so I think that'll go through and make a difference. Diaz will be a is a difference maker for them. I agree. I think Brahim and how he's playing takes a lot of pressure off of a Hakimi. You don't have a Ziyech there currently, even if they do bring him back. Diaz does a lot for them. I do agree. And if you add Hakimi and then Sayas to that, yeah, that's a team that how do you want to play? I agree. The Moroccan side is deep, and that's why I say they're a designer. How do you want to play? Do you want to play as route one? Fine. You want to play us in a low block? Fine. We can break you down. We're gonna play in a low block? Fine. Break us down. The physicality thing is the one thing I'm curious to see, but let's not pretend like North Africans aren't a physical bunch. Let's
No,
not
no,
pretend.
Mali can. They lifted weight before.
Oh yeah,
They made,
Mali just came fresh from the gym. We're just like, hey,
yeah, yeah.
25, ha,
And then all right,
225.
let's go play some soccer now.
Shouldering everyone out. So I think those are good calls in terms of players. Morocco has Scotland and Haiti in their group. Again, I think they'll be fine there. Cote d'Ivoire, Curacao, Ecuador, and Germany. I think they'll Cote d'Ivoire against Ecuador will be a fun matchup. Um, sorry, I got distracted with the fans. Egypt and Belgians,
We know.
Iran and New Zealand. That's not an impossible group for them.
No,
They have the top end talent. You'd argue that outside of the Belgium players, they have the next best players. Oh, that's not good. Goalie just collapsed.
is it collapse again or I
No, I
think
think
I'm at the 30. I'm about to hit 40 in like
yeah.
two
I'm
seconds.
looking at the replays of it, but that's fine. Let me share this here and just kind of go through these as we go. Throw it up.
Yeah, and I think even Ivory Coast, when it comes to playing
Yeah.
against the German team, I think they have players that have experience playing in Germany. So I think that will kind of help them. But
Mhm.
worst case scenario, they should at least have second spot.
Agreed. Cape Verde, I if they can get a draw versus Saudi Arabia, I'd be happy. I think they're just in a tough group for vibes purposes. I know for reasons people wanted them in Brazil in the same group for reasons.
Yeah.
But hey,
Yeah.
um, reasons.
They probably wanted them in there because that's, get a little bit
Hey,
of that Portuguese.
Group Portuguese, yes,
Yeah,
that would have been fun.
two colonies
Senegal
playing
will look
against.
good. Senegal will be tough. Like I think they can get out of the group because
I hate it.
it's a tough group. Like
Yeah.
you have Norway and then you have France, but that's tough for them. I think they can get out.
Yeah,
Algeria with
Holland.
Austria and Jordan. I think, hey, Algeria. I think things are setting up for them to have a 2014 year. So maybe they can do that. Yellow card coming up here on the run. So Look like a free kick coming up for them coming. And then the last one, Ghana with Croatia, Panama, and England.
That's a toss up.
I don't know what to think of Ghana yet because this is my argument with my brother all the time. They need a striker. I don't think you can go into the World Cup thinking Jordan Ayew is going to be that player for you, but you can't deny that he's been good. So what do? Eddie Nketiah? But then people will say, "Oh, but he hasn't been playing. He didn't want to play." Listen, he's here. He's a striker. He fits the profile a little bit better, so I think that would be my ideal spot. But I think those two, Algeria could make it out of the group, and then from there, it's matchups. Like your groups matter there, but then it's matchups, and that's what it ultimately is. If Algeria looks good here, I will definitely revise. But Algeria have a group. I think that's a team we're not talking about enough. Like Algeria, Austria, and then Jordan with Argentina, they can finish top two in that group. I think most people will say Argentina are winning that group, which I think that's respectable. But you could see Algeria finishing second in the group, and then from there, now what do you do? I think that's fair. Of the teams that we aren't talking about, I think that's where it could go, and I would like to see kind of what it looks like there. What are your spots? I know you said a couple of them, but do you like it just Morocco, Senegal, and then maybe a Cote d'Ivoire or an Argentina or an Algeria? My bad.
For now, yes. I won't say I'm too thrilled about it, but just I guess on paper, those are the team that's supposed to. I know they're still working on those kinks, even for most of those teams now. And they're still also recruiting those younger players from the diaspora as well. Yeah. So it just will be interesting to see probably in March how those teams looks like.
Most definitely. I think that's where it will be it'll be very interesting to see. That's why March is very key for me. But this Sudan Equatorial Guinea looks like we have a break coming in one side. On the break, cutting crosses, and we got a goal kick.
Fight.
Sudan have had moments where they look good. So have Equatorial Guinea. But ultimately, still 0-0.
Probably the next 15 minutes, I will have to bounce.
All good. We'll probably run this till the end of this game, and then I want to be seated for. I want to be fully seated for Burkina Faso and the others. But yeah, no, it's been good. Like we said, conversations have been good. We got a free kick coming here for what looks like Equatorial Guinea. And we'll see if we get any more on this. But I'll ask you the question here since you just came by. African teams you think, based off how they're playing at AFCON, that will do well at the World Cup? We've mentioned a couple teams already, but do you have teams you think will do well based off how they're playing at the World Cup? How they're playing at the AFCON at the World Cup? Yes. But if we're doing that, we got a free kick coming for Equatorial Guinea, probably about 10 feet off of the top of the box, right on the circle.
Man, that Algeria and Burkina Faso game is going to have quite a few royalties as well in there. I'm just reading now that, of course, Zinedine Zidane is going to be there because his son's playing. Yep. But also, Kylian Mbappe is going to be there, and Mahrez. So it's going to be looks like because all of that Algeria connection.
Oh, for sure. And that's where and the one thing we talked about, even with that, we have 10 minutes of additional time because yes, AFCON, give me my 15. Give me my 15. I think once you expanded the World Cup, the idea of the diaspora looking other places was always going to be a thing. And so no one is safe. Start talking like start what was the joke? Like, start talking to your diaspora now. Don't wait until the World Cup happens. But you're going to see more players going through their options, and do it. By all means, do it, because 48 teams making it. How many players from Curacao are like, hey, like we thought we could only play for the Netherlands, but now it's like, hey, oh no,
Let's say 5.
right? And
And
now
you
you
know
have
what?
Curacao, you have
Make it
Suriname,
happen.
and it's like these are your options. Play it wide. There you go. Okay.
You just make it happen. It's an international, like we say, it's a global sport.
Mm-hmm.
Your nationality comes in many ways, and some of them is you play in the league for a little bit, and then people forget Diego Costa
Yep.
that was in Spain. The beast of Chelsea.
Yep.
Guess what? He's Brazilian.
Well aware.
And now, if you watch all those northern countries, what? Ukraine got black players. Norway has black players. All those northern places where you thought, no, it's all white. No, their bench are changing. It's because it's a global sport.
Immigration is a funny thing like that, but I'm not mad at it. Like, I'm truly not mad at it.
And some countries are benefiting because they're playing. How the U.S. looks a lot different than what it looked like before.
Mm-hmm.
Canada looks a lot different than what it was before. And all of a sudden, now they're starting to be a powerhouse in world soccer.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a coincidence?
Okay, another yellow card behind the play. This game's getting chippy.
Yeah,
I need some
know.
dips for this game.
There's lambs everywhere.
Yeah. But the game continues. We have another 8 minutes or so, 7 minutes or so for additional time to come through. We got Sudan on breaking down the left wing. They've sent the cross in, and ball's played on the ground. Looks like another shot to come in, and it's deflected, and it's out for a goal kick. And the Equatorial Guinea. Yep. Very true. Good young players. Yep. Yeah,
since I couldn't show him on my stream because I had the green screen. Look at what we're talking.
Hey, I see you. I gotta update my. I need to build a closet of African kits right now because I have too many every year editions of Ghana kits. So it's just like, I mean, what do you want? I got the Junior Ogogo from 2008. I've got too many. Yeah, just like, listen, give me Cape Verde, please. Give me Cape Verde, please.
I'm lucky. I gotta find that one, but yeah. Yeah, I got pretty much. I think Senegal is predicament. It's pretty.
The Malian kit though, I would like to have that Malian kit, the white one. Oh
yeah,
that looks lovely.
Burkina Faso too.
Oh yeah, Burkina Faso is a nice one too. The white kits are just nice. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, you can use your diaspora when you have something that shows, right? Since that World Cup, Morocco can go to any player and be like, look, this is what we just did. We want you to be a part of that. And that's all the sales pitch you need. Right?
So they don't even have to make a sales speech. Those guys are going to them.
Yep.
I think there's a couple of them also that went from France and then switched,
That's true.
Winning changes a lot of things.
Winning is the ultimate Band-Aid.
Yes.
But this is looking like a classic. Why hasn't anybody scored game? This is what I get for hoping for goals, guys. This is what I get. All right. I'm like, it's going to be 3-1. This is going to be a 0-0. Burn the grass.
It's not over yet. Got plenty of time.
I know. At least the goalie has made saves. I'm sorry, save bracket S bracket.
Oh, what in the world was that? He saved his life.
Yep, that he did. Okay. The football is footballing, and I am here for it. All right, we're getting to near of halftime. It's still 0-0 for this Equatorial Guinea versus Sudan matchup. Ah, I should. And no fouls called. Everyone's looking at this ref, and this ref is just looking at them, being like, "Look, I have reservations at noon, so." Like
He's
anytime I
getting
see
ready
the
for.
ref not do anything, I just assume they're trying to catch the ferry for like a Spanish fish in the evening, and he's got to get out at a certain time. So
He's just getting himself ready for the World Cup, right? This is when we were getting those 10, 15-minute additional times.
But yeah, it's been a pretty quiet. There have been chances, but nothing that has rung. It's not been the Mozambique Gabon game, okay? So every someone, please save us from ourselves. But here we are. It's still a solid half of football as we're nearing the end of it. Still 0-0. I think we'll go through some of the stats and just keep the banter going as we go. But it's been very much, other than this last bit, where Sudan has looked a lot better. There's the AFCON shot. There it is. Halfway through half and just booting it over. If this was rugby, before two. But getting our stats page here. All right. It's been it's been an uneventful in terms of chances, but it's been nice looking build up. You get the idea of what they've been trying to do, but they've just missed out on each side. But we'll get to that as we get to halftime.
To us, we spent money to go backwards.
Indeed. All right, Equatorial Guinea with the ball, pass in the middle, bad touch, but back in, nice triangle. You have set up, switch the play, sending it in, well defended, well taken care of. Looking at the pass, cleared, and now Sudan's on the break, the left hand side. Maybe this is probably the last chance before
All right, fellas, it was fun.
Yes.
Gotta go into run a few things around, and guess we'll see if I can catch you guys hopefully for the second half of the Cote d'Ivoire Cameroon game.
If we're here for sure, I might end up early because we still got Christmas celebrations to deal with. So
I know when I catch you, I still we still have our chat and everything else.
For sure.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah, I gotta take off too. I gotta do some errands myself. But
no problem,
nice
boy.
chatting with you guys. Great,
yes.
Just great, great conversation with everybody. But
yeah, we'll talk later. We'll try to get something going, but I will catch you guys later. And yes, wall of rice is still better. But with that said, peace.
Really, you're just gonna leave with that? Listen, this man, really. Last word and out. Before you head out, let us know where we can find you, what content you got going on, so that if people are trying to find you because they connected with what you said, where can they find your stuff?
Yeah, so you can find me. I'm Indomitable Lion _17 on Instagram.
Mm.
I'm also part of Footy Rants with my boy TK. We do AFCON recaps on it. And the last thing, I am also the vice chair of the Atlanta Blues Chelsea group. So give us a follow there. They give us a follow there, and we'll be doing content over there for just to get people going for watch parties and everything. But yes.
Mm. Perfect, perfect. All right. Send that info to me. I'll put it in the description for, or put it in the group, and I'll put it in the description for once the video's up. But yeah, make sure you guys check them out as well. We're at halftime. Thank you for being here. I guess it's down for me now, and we'll
Mhm.
handle it well. We'll handle it well still. But yo, happy holidays to you, man, and we'll catch up later for sure.
All right, peace.
Peace. All right, so we are at halftime in this game. We'll do this the rest of this game. Hopefully, we get some goals coming into it, but we'll do halftime, but that'll be it for us because we all got errands that we're running today as well. But Equatorial Guinea nil, Sudan nil, and this game has pretty much been, other than the last few minutes. Again, when you look at stats don't tell you the whole story of the game, but they can paint a bit of a picture for you in terms of what they've been seeing. But let's show some of the statistics, what we've seen here. And yes, Chris, I saw the question. I'll get to it. Chris Smith, let's go to it here. So possession has been Equatorial Guinea, pretty much holding the majority of it. Two big chances, five total shots, one corner kick, 190, almost 200 passes to 100 passes. It's been Equatorial Guinea's game for the most part. When we get the shots, this is where everything matters to me in terms of what happens with your shots. 5 shots to 3, that's fine. 2 shots off target versus 2. 1 shot, no shots on target, allegedly. 2 block shots. 3 shots inside the box, and that's where I think Equatorial Guinea have been better. They've been trying to catch Sudan's mid block a little bit high to get the winger off, but they've been off on a few times. So I think you'll see them try to go for that there. I don't know if Emilio Insu will play in the second half, but I would love to see him come. I think he can add something to this game. Big chances missed. Yes, 2 chances. There was that one major chance for Equatorial Guinea about halfway through the second half that they just couldn't put on frame over the net. Same thing with Sudan. Touches in the box 7-6, good. Fouled in the final third 2-3, and 3 offsides. I think Sudan is being very clever with their back line, but eventually I think you will get to a point where Equatorial Guinea are able to get through. Both of these teams are sitting in a position where a win does a lot of good work for them to get them into the next round. A draw doesn't help them at all, even though possibly it could go either way. So to kind of show you where they are, Equatorial Guinea and Sudan are both on 1 point as it stands. A win will drop them up to 3 points, which, based off of the third place spots that you have, Mozambique with a big win today, 3-2 over Gabon. Gabon's now AFCON journey could be in jeopardy, and what could possibly be Pierre Aubameyang's final AFCON. We'll see, depending on what he does with that. That leaves them in that group and a little bit in peril. And then Equatorial Guinea and Sudan, 1 goal each, no goals each, so 1 point. A win props them into the third, and they'll be sitting well for a third place spot. As you see, Benin already on 3 points with a win yesterday. Tanzania and Uganda with a draw. They are in a precarious spot. Uganda missed that penalty at the end. Should have taken them over, but alas. And then Angola and Zimbabwe drawing as well, with Egypt all the way through to the next round. Egypt, Nigeria are 2 sides who are through to the next round, and as well as Zambia sitting with 2 points there. So third place, you aren't dead yet, but you do need a win. Will go a long way to guarantee you only needing a draw to make sure you get out. So that's where it'll be very important to watch and see what happens with that as we sit there. But that's what we've seen so far. We're at halftime. We're going to go through, finish this game off. Thank you for everyone who's been here. Leave a comment, subscribe. Let us know what you've liked about AFCON so far. Teams that have looked well. We've talked about teams who have performed well. We've talked about teams who could maybe leverage their good performance here and push that forward into the World Cup. We've also talked about just all things diaspora, the schedule. Equatorial Guinea, I think, had the biggest chance, couldn't put it on frame, always found offsides, looking at some of the highlights, but ultimately, I think for them, Equatorial Guinea have been the better side, but they need to be better in their final third finishing, because ultimately that's what's going to hold them back. Sudan's had a few chances as well, but both teams have nothing to show for it. And we have 45 minutes to either share the spoils or take it on all the way to the end here. But yes, Christoph, I see you asking this question. What's your position on Nketiah and Adoy joining the team? Look, I don't mind players joining a team late into it. They don't have AFCON that they could have used to bring them in. For me, I would say in a World Cup year, if you haven't been in the team, it's going to be tough to make it. But every player right now has until March to look really good, especially players on the edge of the roster, right? Those last few pieces of the roster, they're all fighting for those spots. I think personally, if you look at how Ghana's team is constructed, I don't know if they need wingers, but they certainly need more strikers who can perform. And if Nketiah continues his good form throughout all the way till March, I think you shouldn't hesitate to bring him up for those March friends to see how he looks. Primarily because, yes, if you start Jordan Ayew as a 9, even if you look at the starting other forwards, right? Even if you look at what it could be with everyone's healthy, and Iñaki Williams on the right, a Kudus as your cam, Antoine Semenyo on the left, and then you put Jordan there. That screams a beautiful transition side. Or you use Jordan basically in the 10 role, and you swap him with Kudus and have Kudus carry the ball and go forward. Same with Antoine Semenyo and same as Iñaki Williams. But the 9, if they can get an answer at striker, another striker who's in form, maybe for Ghana, it's Brandon Thomas Asante, who's able to finally gain some good form and continue to play well. I think you look at that route, but I don't have an issue with them playing for the country. I know people will be angry when it comes to either players and time that they take, but we said this earlier. Take their time. And yes, you're not going to make everyone happy with your decision, but research, look around, see what the options are. Yes, I can understand the frustration of why are you coming now once the team is qualified versus trying to help them qualify. That's a valid point. In the same breath, let's not pretend that all the federations are perfect in everything that they do and that it's just as simple as a player saying they want to come and they came. So for me, when the player is ready, they're ready. Now the federation says you come or don't come, or this is where we can use you, or there's no space for you. Um, and that's kind of how I look at it that way. So I don't mind the idea of it. I know I can understand the frustration with it. You don't want people just coming up just because, oh, they've done all the work, right? And now they're there. But you want, look, if they can help the team, they can help the team. And you need another striker option. I think even you can argue injuries can happen, right? So maybe you will need a Callum Hudson-Odoi because maybe you're not hoping it happens. Well, maybe a Kamaldeen Sulemana gets hurt. Maybe Ernest Nwama gets hurt. Maybe Antoine Semenyo gets hurt. Maybe Iñaki Williams gets hurt. And now you're saying, okay, who are our winger options? I think you got to look and build the team with the most depth, regardless of how they've wanted to be a part of the federation or not. But that's me, right? That is just me. And I'll hear every argument, every conversation on it. I get every side of that. That's never an issue for me, but that's kind of where I find myself arguing or agreeing or disagreeing with it on every side. So it is fine for me there, but it doesn't bother me in that sense. But we are here sitting at halftime. It is 0-0. It's going to be our final game that we'll be doing before Burkina Faso versus Algeria gets underway, and then Cameroon versus Cote d'Ivoire gets underway later in the afternoon. There'll be great games to keep an eye on, most definitely. But we're at halftime here, and we will continue to monitor the game as we go and just have conversations. If you have thoughts, let us know in the comments below. Things that you've enjoyed, just like as Chris Smith is saying, asking me about Ghana. I'm Ghanaian. We do Canadian African content. If you're Canadian watching this, we did a year in review for the men that just went up yesterday, as well as our women's team year in review that's there. And we're going to be doing our best to be a little bit more consistent, following AFCON's happenings as we go through here. But to give you a recap of things you may have missed if you haven't been here, we did have a bit of an upset, if people want to call it an upset. Mozambique got past Gabon 3-2 in a game that, to be honest, they were in full control of. Yes, the second half, you definitely see Gabon with a little bit more of the attacking momentum here on SofaScore. But this was a game that Mozambique, if they finish their chances, if everyone finishes their chances, it probably ends 5-4. And so, with that being the case, I mean, this is the flow of the game as it is. Mozambique with 6 shots, 6 big chances, 13 total shots, 8 goalkeeper saves, a lot of those in the second half. Yeah, 4 corner kicks each, 10 free kicks to 9 as you go. 3-2 is the final score. We're looking at the shots. 10 shots on target for Gabon. And that is the micro story of the game. Gabon just could not finish. Aubameyang had a few chances that he heads it or just heads it just wide. If he finishes those chances again, they get 2 additional goals, most definitely. Mozambique hits the woodwork and have shots that go well, then there's offsides goals that are taken off. But when you look at shots inside the box, again, Gabon pushing through. Outside the box, where Mozambique were a little bit more dangerous. That's where you leave that game. And that, as we had talked about earlier, as we transition screens here, puts Mozambique in a good spot to get out of the group, now tied on points until Cote d'Ivoire and Cameroon play each other later this afternoon or evening, depending on when you're watching. Those two, that leaves them in a good spot for third place. And that's where Equatorial Guinea and Sudan are battling for. A win propels one of these two sides into third place and gives them the opportunity, a better chance to get out into the round of 16 as they move through. And then the other third place teams, you have Benin with 3 currently, Tanzania with 1, you have Angola with 1, and then Zambia with 2 based off of the results that they've had. So still a lot to play for. No one is quite dead as of yet, but there's still opportunities for those teams to move forward and get some results as they go through. So plenty to play for. I would love to see these teams kind of push forward for a win. A draw doesn't help them. It doesn't kill them either, but a draw at least puts one of these two sides into a great position to move forward. And that's what we want to see. You want to see some more stories. And I think Equatorial Guinea, after their run last year, you would love to see them through. But Sudan, this last year to this year as well, post AFCON to AFCON qualifying as well as World Cup qualifying, have looked like a formidable side, at least defensively. But you definitely do see the potential of a Equatorial Guinea as well as a side like Sudan here. So I'm curious and I'm excited to see what they could actually do. But again, we're at halftime here, and we will continue to see what they're able to do with that. But AFCON is sitting there, excited. I've liked it. I know that the thumbnail has questions about what is a penalty, which I think has been a fair point. What constitutes as a penalty in this competition? I don't hate it. I get why one was called. I just wish they were more consistent with it overall. If you're going to call the Egyptian one, it's really just the penalties start because the Egypt penalty is called in a way where we look at it and say, should that have been a penalty in itself? And because of that, now we kind of are looking and saying, well, let's see how this game progresses in that sense. But looks like we're getting ready for the second half as it is. If you guys are watching, let me know what your predictions are. As simply as that. If you are looking for more of the content, we had people came in. We want to shout out Tunji and his channel, and he's in Tennessee, does a lot of stuff there. Then Indomitable Line 17 doing what they're doing there. And then more football, you know that we had Senegal, Cameroon, and Nigeria in the house. My heritage is Ghanaian, in case you're wondering. I'm also Canadian, that's why we do Afrikaans. We do both. Both teams are out for the second half. We're gonna keep the play-by-play here. I did not go get some liquid for the throat, so we're gonna share that there in a minute. And what we'll do is we'll give you guys a rundown of what's going on with the plays. I will be back shortly, and we'll talk about what we're seeing within that game as well. But yeah, it's been a good day for AFCON so far. And I am hoping we have another good game here in the second half. We'll talk about that as we get back there. Second half is underway. We had a couple substitutions coming through. Those will update themselves as we go. And we'll go from there. Equatorial Guinea coming out for Salvador. Nabil coming on in place of Salvador. And so we'll go from there. We'll be back in a minute and we'll talk about what we're seeing in this game. Still 0-0 by Equatorial Guinea, just off of a quick chance, guys. Going back to the African League primarily. Sudan on the break. Cross is blocked, but tried to dealt with, but it's going out for a corner for Sudan. As we can see that there into the 49th minute, as you see the corner was dealt with as we go, but I'm liking what they've seen. A nice pickup in the second half of what we've seen. But Equatorial Guinea right now still looking as the better of the two sides here. If you're just here, give a quick like, a subscribe, a comment, how you feel that the team is dealing with. Foul going on the other side. Perfect. And here we are with Equatorial Guinea starting to build up from the back. Ecuador building from the back. But both sides looking dangerous in their chances, but nothing has looked very tempting in that sense. Equatorial Guinea building to get the ball to the middle, looking continue to pass through. Now diagonal, but dealt with by the Sudanese and chipped forward. Now we have Equatoria on the break on the right wing coming through. He's dribbling, cuts out to the outside. He is fouled. Are they giving a penalty? Is the ref giving a penalty? He is not calling. Ooh, this may go to VAR and may go to either simulation or a penalty. We'll see what happens with it. But Sudan currently are breaking out. They've sent the ball forward and keeping the ball in play. And it looks like they are not going to wait for the penalty to see if it's checked. So Equatorial Guinea sending it to the middle, but intercepted by Sudan. Sudan with the ball now. And ball sent back to the keeper. We haven't been able to take a look at that penalty shot, but we'll see if it constitutes as a penalty as we go. Here we go. Equatorial Guinea building. Here we go. Center backs carrying the ball. Passes it back out. We go back wide. Looks like we go back to the keeper. And we're going to build up now on the left-hand side. Here we go. Ball's moving. Fullbacks are pushing very deep, but ultimately dealt with by the Sudanese, and ball headed back in, but cleared again, but headed back in and cleared again, but it looks like a bad bounce. Can Equatorial Guinea do something with this? But it's dealt with by a defender. It looks like we're about to get a corner kick. So bad bounce for Sudan. Could have been deadly, but well taken by the defender. Now we're going for another corner kick coming through. And finally got, that one went down too quickly. Equatorial Guinea with now a shot going wide, but punched away, not gathered. And now Sudan clears finally. Equatorial Guinea looking the more dangerous right now. That was a warning shot for certain by Equatorial Guinea as they sit there preparing for it. All right, so Equatorial Guinea with the ball, building out from the back. We're in the 53rd minute. Even though the recaps are in the 54th minute, so an offsides is coming. Here we go. The ball's coming through. We're watching the game. Good play. But that is where the problem becomes with Equatorial Guinea. Their wingers aren't holding long enough. And so for how Sudan is defending, they are really, that was certainly still offsides. Waste opportunity still, but they are trying to find their runs, but they aren't finding them well enough. Right? Off the layoff. It's definitely offsides, but I think Equatorial Guinea right now have more offsides than big chances, which might be a wild assertion, but they've been the better side. They're keeping the ball on the ground, but there's certainly a goal in this game. But if Equatorial Guinea aren't more clinical, it'll be a Sudanese goal, and that's how this game will end. That's how I see this game going. But again, thank you for the people who are here. Appreciate you having you. And then we'll go for there. But looks like the ref is going to go take a look now. Oh, nope. Looks like the ref just needs to adjust his mic here. So as we stand here, what's at stake? We have Sudan and Equatorial Guinea. Currently, as the result holds, they're at 1 point each. And what they are hoping for is if one of these two sides wins, you are then in third place and you stand a very good chance to move on, depending on what goal difference is. I think right now, if Equatorial Guinea wins, they'll be at a 0 goal difference. And depending on the result versus with Burkina Faso and Algeria, they could possibly see themselves in second. Now, if they end up in third, they're still in a good spot to make it to the round of 16 in the third place spot. But that is what is at stake in this game, in this 2025 edition of AFCON. We're in the 55th minute as we move and see. And Equatorial Guinea, again, building from the back. We'll see what they're able to do here. But guys, thank you for who are here. Give us your predictions as we go. Laid off, played, nearly sent. But here comes Equatorial Guinea again, passing through, building out, and passing the ball in the midfield, but not deep enough. Maybe a bit of a tug, but we still have it as two and no fouls. Sudan looking to build, passing out, but intercepted, chipped forward, and here comes Equatorial Guinea looking and chipped away, and you're seeing a deep throw for Equatorial Guinea as they sit there. All right, deep pass and a bad pass again. Tries to chip and a foul on the edge of the box on the right hand side. So we have a free kick coming for Equatorial Guinea on the edge of the box. This is another dangerous chance for them. They have to convert this game. They need to convert. This game can't end how it ends here. But they have to convert this chance here. They have a chance. I know, chancing the chance. But there we are. Let's see. So we say about 10 yards or 10 feet, 10, 12 feet away from the right-hand side of the box, Equatorial Guinea. Looks like it's going to have to be a crossing based off of the angle. Let's see if they can find any of their players. We have them sitting over the cross as we go. Nothing. Shipped over, low ball, sent, and over the net again. Well worked set piece, but again, wrong sport for it. If he keeps it on the ground, maybe he gets blocked, but it's a bouncing ball. He tries to get under it, and he certainly does get under it. He had a lane, even if he plays it low. He had a chance on it, but nothing to show for it there. Still 0-0, going to the 58th minute of the game. There we go. Ecuador getting building again. Ball down in the middle. Cuts inside to all the defenders. Nothing to show. Looks like Ecuador Guinea are just trying to get a foul, another free kick opportunity, but nothing to show for it as of yet. And they play it back to reset and start to build up again. Ecuador Guinea been the more dangerous of the sides. They've been the more on possession of the sides, but right now they have nothing to show for it. In a longer game like this goes, that's where you leave yourself in the opportunity of, okay, what happens if just one bad bounce and now you are down? So there it is. Equatorial Guinea passing the ball, chipping up, and now we have the ball into space. So winger moving. He's going through. Now he's down the right hand side looking. Could have played the overlap, but now plays it back into the middle. And we reset back to the center halves who are at about half midway of the field. They're at the half line, building, looking. Now center half is moving forward. They're giving him the run. He's looking for someone to pass it, lay it off to. They pass it off. The ball is shot. There's a rebound in the box. Looking, turning, nothing, and can't get a shot on the goal. That was a nice run, but now the defense is left a little bit disorganized. You got a 4-on-4 developing. Sudan with the ball, passes it outside. There's a hand for a cross. We switch the play, a little bit too much air under it, but Sudan gets it, puts a shot on frame, saved by the defender. Another shot blocked by the defender. Sudan with their chances. Like we said, one bad bounce, and there we are. Sudan now coming for a corner. That was Sudan's best chance. Equatorial Guinea have looked good. I've been creating opportunities, but this counter shows how deadly Sudan could be. Blocked by the center half, and then another block by the center half. Two opportunities to make it 1-0 for Sudan, but unfortunately, nothing to show for it at this point. And now we have the corner coming. A block shot. Another low shot, but too far wide to the right. And the goal kick coming up for Equatorial Guinea. It's still 0-0 as the score would indicate. AFCON is AFCONing, and we like it. Equatorial Guinea building up from the back, looking to switch the play and bring the ball a little bit up. They want to pass their way through it. Looks like half of the stadium on the far side is filled, and it's giving a nice image. But nice a hold up. Equatorial Guinea passing it back. There we go. Back to the center half. So about midway through. And now out to the fullback who gets by one player, dribbles past the other. Now we're looking for a pass off. Sends it to space. Sends it more to space. We have Equatorial Guinea building on the right. Cross sent in, and he was alone. But no, Equatorial Guinea on the other chance tries to play it low, but passes it directly to the keeper. And Sudan escape, trying to get the break going quickly, but nothing to. But just trying to find these situations, but isn't able to cross it. Easy shuffle for the goalkeeper to deal with. But again, Equatorial Guinea with chances. And even the youngest Equatorial fan is frustrated with no goals. Sudan now at the top of the box, and another shot directly to the keeper. Keepers are now working. The keepers are now working. But they got to challenge the keepers a little bit more. But Equatorial Guinea looking good, but nothing to show for it. A push, and now we have a foul on the Equatorial for the Equatorials. They have a free kick just before the halfway line. Now we have a ball sent in deep. Sudanese doesn't deal with it, so now we have a bit of a mini break going on. Ball play back to the middle, looking for someone to play it to. No one. Sudan seems to get the numbers back, and now Equatorial Guinea have to build up better. But a nice pass slips through, but nothing to show. And now we may have a break. But the ball played back to the keeper, and the build up starts again. Sudan bringing their line up here, hoping not to leave too much space. And the build up must continue and must recycle. Now low ball sent in, looking like they're going to send a space, but nothing. Here we go, carried into the midfield, but errant pass put away. And here comes Sudan, but he is offside. So we're going throw in for Equatorial Guinea. The second half has started to pick up here, but we will wait and see where the breakthrough happens. Waiting to see where the breakthrough happens. But here we are. Equatorial Guinea with the ball, recycling and going back to the keeper. We're going to start everything all over through. But here we go again. Back to center half, center back to center back. Looking to get the ball out to the right winger, but into the midfield. Nice turn. Turns with the ball. A little bit of pulling, but he's breaking his way through. Looking for a pass option, but nothing to show for it. Now played back to the fullback, but now there's some space in the middle. He takes it, switches it over. Now we have possibly a cross to come in, coming on the left-hand side, but got to dribble his way out, see what options they are. There is a switch available if he sees it, but now it's been blocked. Now a spin, a nice turn, and now looking for opportunities and passes. Crosses it deep and high, but nothing to play for the keeper. Keeper claims it well. Looks like we got a call for a change here in the 65th minute. Nothing to really go off of there, but now Sudan, but too far. And a deep throw in for Equatorial Guinea. Look, we got a pause in the action. Referee is checking. Looks like, yep, it looks like Viana is a little bit under. It looks like he'll have to come off. I wonder if this is where Emilio and Insu comes on, or maybe they try to find other options. But this is getting, yes, agree. This was the moment. Now we're into the 66th minute. Looks like we're going to have a double substitution in a minute here as we go. But guys, keeping you abreast of what's happening. Again, 0-0 is the score as we watch Equatorial Guinea. I think the best chance of the game has been the Sudan chance earlier in this half. But Equatorial Guinea have been a bit better of the side in terms of playing. But ball played out wide now. We have Walls playing on the left-hand side. A bit of the break. We have the winger galloping at the time, but we've got to recycle this. But Sudan playing that higher line into that mid line, daring the Guineans, the Equatorial Guineans, to try to go over the top. But nothing has been able to hit as of yet. That's the pass they're trying to invite, and they're trying to catch them offsides over and over again to take the air out of the group. Equatorial Guinea, though, a shallow ball, but nothing to show for an Equatorial Guinea. And Sudan cycles it back. So we are here again in the 68th minute. But nothing to show for it as of yet. Equatorial Guinea now building from the back, and we'll see if they're able to look well with it. But best chance, Sudan here. Double switch coming here for Equatorial Guinea in a minute once there is a pause in the action. But about 22 minutes roughly plus additional time. But here we go. Here we go. Equatorial now building on the left, looking for someone to pass, but a collision, and Sudan with the on the transition, looking to build, but they're going to look like cycle, but a turnover. Here comes Equatorial Guinea if they're not careful, but a great tackle by Sudan to take the ball away. Sudan now looking, putting the ball out wide and left, but Equatorial Guinea deals with it. That could have been a dangerous moment for the game. Great defensive work by the defender, but Ndoye could have made it through, but just couldn't get the ball. A great timed and a great place tackle. And now Pablo Ganet coming in for Obiang. And then Jose Machine out for Louis, on for Asu coming on. So two switches coming in, primarily to the midfield space. We'll see if that gives a little bit more energy for Equatorial Guinea. But ball crossed in, but claimed by the keeper. Now here we are. Ball sent, trying to beat that high line, but a good touch by the Sudanese defender and builds it back into the middle. But here comes Sudan galloping on the right, possibly, and there's a foul. And goal kick, try to go early with the free kick, but it's a goal kick coming up. So here we go. Equatorial Guinea trying to build, but this game needs some more shots. The game needs some more life into it. Chipped into the middle, but Sudan wins the second ball. The broadcaster just brought up a very interesting stat that both teams have lost the ball 89 times. So now, is this on sides? But no, possibly. Shot in side netting, no offsides. Yeah, a missed opportunity for Equatorial Guinea. Couldn't put it on frame. Goalie didn't have to make a save, but that was another opportunity that they've missed. This game could end in a 1-0 draw. And now a yellow card for delaying came for the goalkeeper for Sudan. Looks like they're trying to get this game all the way to a draw here, but we'll see what they're able to do. Now Sudan about to make 2 substitutions as well. So John Mano coming in for Abdel Raouf, and then Abdallah coming off for Mozamil here to get the 3 points. Looks like both teams are trying to go for the win here, if you listen to the commentators. But now we have a free kick coming for Sudan in a dangerous spot outside the box. And it could be fortuitous if the bounces go their way. We'll see how they set up with this. Sudan had the better chance. Equatorial Guinea have looked like the better build-up side. And what has it given us? No goals. Maybe in these last 20 minutes, we get the goal that we've deserved. And we'll have to see what that turns into. We'll have to wait and see what this turns into. But right now, another dangerous free kick, but this time for Sudan. Let's see if they're able to turn it into something good. Free kick bopped. And it's in. Sudan have done it. Sudan have done it. An own goal, and we said this about Equatorial Guinea. The more you let this game go, one bad bounce will do it. And Sudan, nearly at the end, maybe this game turns up, have pushed their way to 3 points. All that was just but one bad bounce. And it was just one bad bounce. Equatorial Guinea are now down by the score of 1-0 off of an own goal deflecting into the goal. All those chances, all those missed opportunities, it was cleared, but then hit into a defender and then bounced into the goalkeeper. You couldn't do anything. Those are the worst as a goalkeeper to deal with. And it's 1-0 for Sudan. Sudan almost could be on the verge. They could be on the verge. The worst way to go. It is now 1-0. We'll update everything for you. But Sudan have their goal. Now, can they hold on to this? Sal Coco with a own goal. Can they hold on to this? This is what we will watch to see. But Sudan now looking going to try to get these 15 minutes plus time out. But the Sudanese fans are alive. But Sudan now looking to add an insurance goal. Oh, but good play. We have a cross coming in. Could be two. And a good save by the goalkeeper. Sudan are awake now. Sudan are awake now. Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea could have easily been down 2-0. And now it feels like it's happening now. It feels like Insu is about to come in for them, but right now you have a corner coming up for Sudan. See what they could do with this, but unbelievable. You gotta take your chances because the more chances you leave, the more the opportunities are there. Sudan up 1-0. With 15 minutes left, Emilio Ensu's coming onto the pitch for Equatorial Guinea, and now the game is live. The game continues to be live, but right now, remarkable. It just takes one bounce. It always takes just one bounce. Now, Equatorial Guinea just playing for the draw, hoping for the draw, hoping that they can get out of this with not only 1 point, but possibly two. We'll see what Ensu can do here in terms of opportunities. But now they have to attack with possession and break down the Sudanese side, which have been formidable, but have left themselves open for chances. But Equatorial Guinea are very porous right now in their defending. Here comes another shot. Player goes down, no free kick, and now we have going the Route 1 rate. We'll see what happens with this. Stream going down at this moment. Major things are happening. But Ensu is onto the pitch, and now this game will end in a frenetic way. No doubt about it. But here we go into the last few minutes of the game. Keeping you updated. If you haven't already, hit the like button. Subscribe. Tell me who you're rooting for and for what. And Ensu nearly draws the game. Emilio he finally gets the ball just wide. This game is going. I don't know what you're doing, but you need to be watching this game. The 3 points matter here, and both teams are going for three, even though one is down. But this is going to be end-to-end action for the next little bit. It looks with 10 minutes plus some additional time. This game is about to go into a different gear with both sides pushing. Both sides pushing. But we'll wait and see what this gives us here. But ultimately, let's see what we have. We have less than 10 minutes to go in this game. Sudan with the goal. Now it seems like Quespia is just shutting everything down. We are getting the goal. That's what we need right now. We got the win. Let's get the win. If Sudan does this, I think this will be an impressive win by them. But if you're Equatorial Guinea, what are you doing with the chances you've missed? But let's see how this game ends. Let's see the rest of this game as it goes. 10 minutes and time added is what is left in what will be an amazing end. Nearly pushes it through, but nothing. And here we go. Ball chipped out, trying not to, headed back down. Equatorial Guinea passed out. And throw in for Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea have been in a dramatic game themselves, one where they were up 1-0 but lost 2-1 to Burkina Faso. So we'll see if they can get this done. But now, these last 10 minutes are what we're here for. Ball played back into the center half line, worked around, and Sudan basically playing 9 players. Every player is behind the ball for Sudan, but trying to pressure and invite some decisions. But here comes Equatorial Guinea. But ball played out wide. Here comes Equatorial Guinea. It's chipped through into the middle, but too far. And Sudan with the ball trying to start the break, but back into the middle. But nearly going through is too much the words to describe. Ball played out wide. Here we go. Equatorial Guinea looking. He's driving in off the left-hand side. Puts it in. Puts it on shots, but wide of the mark. Wide of the mark. They are throwing everything at this now, and so far, but just wide of the mark. Let's see what it looks like on the replay. Staying it wide, a little bit too wide out, but still, these next 10 minutes are going to be it. Close and wide. Looks like Sudan are trying to make sure they use every time for any type of substitutions. That is an interesting stat. I didn't know this. So right now, commentators letting us know that Equatorial Guinea have only lost back-to-back games here once. This would be the second time. But again, there's at least, I would say, 15 minutes left in this game. Equatorial Guinea saying the ball up high and sent, but here comes the passing. Now the ball is put out wide. And if they push, they could have the numbers 5 in the back for Sudan and sending the ball in. But a wayward cross is dealt with well. And here we go, Sudan, making sure they take every minute to get back off the pitch. A historic win is waiting for them here and putting themselves in a spot where they could actually get out of this group. Again, on the line, in third place, gives you a best shot to get out of this group. But looks like the Sudanese players are going to make sure they ensure everything, every additional minute, every additional second. And here we are. Now this game, the drama of this game. And it'll look like this is going to be very well. But here we go. A wayward shot, but put away. And we have a goal kick coming now for Equatorial Guinea. But we'll see how that goes. The time is coming through. Chip through again. Well tackled. Now Equatorial Guinea need to be patient in this build-up, but they need some. Here they are looking for passes, but a bad pass set, but sent back out. Looking out wide, gets through, but chipped out and glow. You can hear the Sudanese supporters roaring for a chance at a point here, but 3 points is what you need to truly have an opportunity. 5 in the back line, 3 in the middle. Just make sure to close out all the gaps for a passing team. Let's see what they can do now. Sent low. You got Guinea on the left hand side looking, but having to recycle back. Still in the attacking half. Still in the midfield looking, trying to get into the attacking third. Nothing quite, but they are doing their best to take away spaces for easy passes, daring the Equatorial Guineans to make the difficult pass. But so far, here we go. Ball switch out to the left. Ball career. We have fullback driving to the left hand side, chips, and hits the outside of the netting. But it is 1-0 still. 6 minutes plus additional time. I think we have at least 10 minutes left in this game. We'll see what they're able to do. But if you're just joining us, an own goal puts Sudan up in the late stages of this game, and Sudan are holding up to go into second place and potentially, depending on what the result is in the Burkina Faso and Algeria game, move up to second at this AFCON as we go. We'll see what they're able to do. But Zayed looks like he's coming on for Sudan for Barglan. But it looks like a few more defensive players in for Sudan to get another good win for them. We'll see if they're able to pass through. Now here comes the goal kick. Goal kick coming. Let's see what they're able to do. And for dissent, a yellow card is shown. And now we have a free kick for Sudan. And here we are. So here we are sitting in the moment. Sudan with a late free kick. Do they go to put the game away? Or do they try to waste more of this time? 3 minutes still left of time. I think probably 5 to 7 minutes of additional of added time. So we'll see how it goes. But again, if you are late to this, it looks like teams people would have called the minnows are doing their part today. Mozambique with a big win, an offsides on the free kick. So right now we have Sudan holding on. Oh, a bad pass, a wayward pass. Sudan are running into the space as well, crossing, but nothing to show. And Sudan now still on the ball, using more of the time, looking for an overlap, putting the ball back into the middle, and just eating the clock at this time. But they are looking to put a shot on frame, but it is gone a wide and awry. Still 1-0 for Sudan. Equatorial Guinea trying to push, having in a motion, but they need to wake up. And here we are. Here we're coming. So here comes Equatorial Guinea. 5 players in the back. A 5-3-2 effectively. A 5-4-1 it looks like at some points to defend. But they just are not able to pass through these Sudanese defenders, putting players into space, but nothing to show for it. But here comes the passing, and Equatorial trying to move with a little bit more pace. Ensu with the ball, pushes the ball, tells everyone to go forward, but looking to build up, but they're spending too much time, and now the Sudanese players are all behind the ball. Let's see what they can do. Ensu standing on the right hand. Can they go wide? Can he go wide? But they're forcing him back inside, looking for a pass, but nothing. Back to the half line. Equatorial Guinea, we're waiting to see how much additional. 5 minutes of additional time, which is about what we were predicting. So now 5 minutes of additional time. Can Equatorial Guinea get the result that they need? The ball passed through, but no no touch on the first touch. A poor first touch. Ball placed in, but then a poor next pass. And Sudan right now looking like the team that are fighting for a win here. But nothing. But now looks like the ball overhand, nothing, but it's claimed by. And the goalkeeper bringing the ball up, trying to find opportunities, passes the ball up. Here we go, Aquatelli again, bringing the ball, passing now 5 in the back for Sudan, looking for opportunities. N2 making a run, trying to create space. And if the second run is there, now we have a free kick coming for Equatorial Guinea. 5 minutes of additional time. It's now or never for the Equatorial Guineans. Now the question is, can they put the ball into a space where it will be effective for what they're trying to? We'll have to wait and see. But this is as good of an opportunity as they'll get. Can they do it? Can they do it? You're looking for Ensu to see what he can do. So here we go with the free kick coming up. Watching this ball sent in well and chipped over by the goalkeeper, but dealt with. Ball passed back in, but Equatorial Guinea with the ball again. Players are still up, looking for the middle, looking to go wide. Played in softly, crossed in, and dealt by the defense. Sudan looking, trying to hold on to the ball and kick it out. And here's the and Insu goes down at a chance, but they want to look at this at VR. This is going to be an ending. This is going to be an ending. And Ensu is calling for a push in the back. It could be a possible penalty, guys. AFCON has had nothing but drama in the last minutes, and they want them to take a look at it for a chance. But it looks like no VAR for this opportunity. Ensu had a chance, but nothing to show for it. The ball is clearance goes away. That was a big opportunity, but nothing to put on to the pitch for them. The last few minutes coming. This is going to be an ending. Crossed in, dealt with, and going. Everyone's going to the ground trying to fetch a penalty, but nothing to show for it. The last final 2 minutes. Can a goal be found? A good turn, built in, running through the midfield, looking, chipping out wide. Here comes the cross, low to the ball, and kicked over the net. Corner kick coming. Corner kick coming. Corner kick is in, and a terrible miss shot. And it looks like a quick. The Equatorial Guinea tried to go quick on the corner, but we're going back to it here. Oh, the chaos of this is too much. Like I can barely breathe. 1 minute left. Here comes the corner. And a goal kick is being called. Let's see what happens here. And mistimes it and just can't put it on frame. Looks like Emilio just gets contact but can't put it through. We're in the final few moments for a historic win for Sudan and a disappointing performance from Equatorial Guinea. Let's see what happens. This has been a game that has given us everything. And the time is called. Sudan with a historic win, which means as they sit here, they have the opportunity. They sit now in second place. We'll show you what that looks like here. They have defeated Equatorial Guinea. What that means for them is very simple. They now move into third place. And now, depending on how the result, if Algeria beats Burkina Faso by a wide amount, it comes a little bit more. And this has been a great win by Sudan. They took their opportunities where they were. Equatorial Guinea just left too much on the bone for this game. And as a result, Equatorial Guinea must defeat Algeria for any semblance of a chance to get out of this group. Whereas Sudan, a draw versus Burkina Faso, could do nothing but send them through. The drama is real. Everything is great. Congratulations to Sudan for what they were able to do today. Own goal. Again, they made the most of their opportunities. Equatorial Guinea, on the other hand, were just a little bit too wasteful. And as it stands currently, you have Sudan sitting in third, as with Mozambique. Another side came up with a big victory to give themselves a chance to get to the round of 16, which means now the next two games will say a lot about what their chances are and how those two groups will go. Guys, well, that'll be enough for me today. Appreciate you guys being with us. As always, we're here. We'll be giving you a bit of a recap for everything that happened tomorrow. But until then, I'm going to stop talking right